The man from Sale playing game number 300. We'll get the thoughts of the boys in a football perspective. But Damo, I'm not a great historian of the game, but when you read comments questioning whether this man is the greatest player to ever play for Collingwood, you realise the air in which he operates.
Yeah, and he's been tracking that way now for a good 6 to even 8 years, Howie, hasn't he? It was a slow burn in those early stages, but they were prepared to go with him at that time when he was drafted, and that they always knew that they had a very special talent. I don't think they thought it was going to be as good a talent that he has been, and the only thing he hasn't done is win a Brownlow medal, and he's gone close on a couple of occasions as doing that. And I really like the fact he was able to get back into the All-Australian team this year. I think he's been harshly judged the past 3 or 4 years on that team. I think he's had seasons that are worthy of being All-Australian, and it was good to see him back in for a 6th time.
Juddy, take us out onto the ground. You would have played a lot against Scott. From what we look up here, he has that matrix-style manoeuvre, the way it's described, where he seems to stop and the game goes past him. What's he actually doing when you're out in the ground, and how are you trying to stop a player like Scott Pendlebury?
Yeah, he does make time stand still to some extent, and I think what people don't realise, they look at it and they think he knows what he's going to do. But I think he's going through a million different options at that time, and that's why the players buy into it so much that are around him, because he's genuinely thinking he's going to handle it left. Then at the last minute, he will change his mind and look for another option. But he's constantly able to reevaluate his decision-making. And there's no doubt for me he gets that from basketball, where you're dealing with a lot of players in confined spaces, and often you need really good peripheral vision on who to pass to. But he's just been an incredibly consistent player such a long period of time, and justifiably deserves his spot in the argument as the best Collingwood player of all time.
Dus, we'll get your perspective, and Nath, your perspective in various parts of the ground. Nath, you're a small forward. Pendlebury's running through the middle of the ground. No one better.
No one better, and he's been at the top of the game for at least a decade and a little bit, Howard. The best decision maker, bar none. I think he was like that when he first came into the competition. As Juddy said, it was a good way to put it. He makes time stand still, and whether it's his feet or whether it's his hands, he makes the right decision pretty much every time. And the fact that he can kick around corners on both feet, not only just kicking the ball straight, he's a supremely gifted player, and to have that all packaged up, he's not a fast player, but got to take your hat off him. I think he has been the best decision maker and best user of the football I've seen play the game.
And Das, as a ruckman, you're starting in the middle with Scott Pendlebury there. What does he do so effective that you often see him just streaming out of the middle of the ground?
I think what's underrated for me, Howie, when you're that sublimely skilled and you play the game at the pace and the style that Juddy described, he's tough. He puts his body in the right position every time you need him to as well, and wins contested balls. So he's a gun inside player, a great player on the outside as well. And then his efficiency with the ball and his ability to make decisions put him into such a rare class. And I'm with you, Damo, 6-time All-Australian. And sometimes when your standard's that high, it's hard, and you're so consistent. We tend to overlook a little bit sometimes when you just consistently play at that level. 300 games of pure gold for mine, Scotty Pendlebury.
Without notice, we talk about him potentially, Damo, being the best Collingwood player of all time. We don't go back, and we don't have the history to look back on some of their players. What we can look back is against his coach, Nathan Buckley.
Yeah.
Who are you picking? Das, you're first. Pendlebury or Buckley?
Oh, it's hard, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Having seen so much of Nathan Buckley play, is just a phenomenal player. He's a 6-time best and fairest winner, Nathan Buckley. It's hard to get off the fence. So I'm probably going with Nathan Buckley, because I just think he's, what he did with the ball in hand, I haven't seen any player do ever. But, he'd be happy to take Scotty Pendlebury.
Oh, both brilliant. I mean, I think for best individual games, or if you're picking one for one game at their best, I would pick Nathan Buckley. I think just the consistency and the length of time Scott Pendlebury's been able to do it for, I think he's done that better than his coach. So you take either.
I'd go Buckley too. Again, he doesn't get the 300 games, Buckley, but he had a career in the sandful prior to coming to the AFL, so I think that sort of balances itself out too. And the latter years of Buckley's career fell away, even in 2007, when his last game was at the prelim final in this ground, and it would have been an awkward year. So he didn't hit the line hard. Pendlebury is going to this game tonight as hard running as he's been throughout his whole life, and as effective. And I think that balances up. But I'd still take Buckley.
Boys have sort of flattened the segment a little bit, Nathan.
I'm going to do a jerk. 14 out of 15 went for Sam Walsh. I'm going to go for Scotty Pendlebury, because I said he's the best decision maker I think I've ever seen in the game. I can't imagine there would have been too many better prior to, obviously, us seeing TV-type footage many, many years ago. So to be the best decision-maker in this game, I think is a big, big tick.
Yeah, both absolute superstars and legends of the Collingwood Footy Club and the game. All right, we'll get into full game preview mode. But firstly, Bob Jane T-Marts, the number one team on a Friday night. Often, both not in attendance, Darce, but come finals, they're both here.
They are indeed.
The two doctors themselves, Tom Brown and the real Dr. Rowan White. Good evening to you, gentlemen.
I'm a self-prescribed Dr. Howie. I could get some flack for that, but it's a magnificent night down here, boundary side. The crowd is built right up. The conditions are still at the moment. There's a fairly strong breeze going to the Richmond end of the ground as opposed to the City end. No rain for the moment, although the Doc, who's been on the radar, reckons the rain could be coming at half-time. But, Doc, I wanted to speak to you in particular about the fitness of the players coming back tonight, in particular the three Pies and also Darcy Moore, who I know played last game, but he comes in under a slight injury cloud, to say the least.
Well, Tom, you're right. I mean, players coming in under an injury cloud, particularly in finals, can be found out. But I've got to say, I think when you look at the players coming back from injury, I don't think there'll be any problems on either side. I mean, you talk about Moore with his hamstring awareness. It's a diagnosis that's very interesting. He is fine. The scans show that his hamstring was good as gold, and if he can push through that and forget about it and just play footy, I think he's right to go. De Goey, his hamstring tendon injury, he hasn't played since round 19. That's plenty of time. He's good to go. And, of course, side bottom with a testicle injury. He's been away from the game for about 3 weeks, missed one game. He's right to go. And, of course, for Geelong, we've got Colin Jasny, who's coming back after that hip impingement issue. He missed a game with that. Again, no problems there, trained fully. So both teams right to go. You can't blame the injuries tonight, Tom.
Bob Jane T-Marts has a month on big deals on big brands such as Bridgestone, Hankook and BF Goodrich. So check out Bob Jane T-Marts. All right, game preview mode. We'll start with you, Judge. 3 things the Pies must do to win tonight's game, please.
Pies need to play quick. Geelong are arguably the best slow game team in the competition. Their defenders zone off really well. They work for each other. They look their most comfortable when the opposition team's playing slow. And when Collingwood met them earlier in the year, they veered into that territory. They were looking for the perfect play all game. They need to take risks and be bold tonight, the Pies. The other thing they need to do is they need to get Jordan De Goey up the ground at times. He'll play deep forward, but when he does play deep forward, he's more of an anchor, a bit like a striker, I think they refer to him as in soccer, Howard. Jamie Elliott's been in really good form. Their forward line's been functioning really well with Myercheck. We know Stevenson's back tonight. They work their best when there's a lot of movement and they're creating space for each other. So need to see a mix of De Goey in the midfield and the forward line. The other thing they need to do is they need to utilise the advantage of Grundy in the ruck against Blixarves. If they see him in one-on-one contests, they need to kick the ball to him because he's got a marking advantage there over Blixarves.
Well done to you, Judge. All right, 3 things that the Pies need to do to win tonight, please, Noodles.
Well, did you just do the Pies?
I did the Pies.
Okay, I'll do the
Cats,
Cats.
sorry.
I'll do the Cats.
Sorry,
The Cats need to hold their structure behind me. They're the best at holding the structure behind the footy. They've got 3 tall key defenders that just need to hold, because if they get too far up the ground, they'll get cut open. Geelong, small forwards. Gary Rowan needs to lift. Narkle was very good last week, but also they've got some other young players through there who have been the real lifeblood of this side. I talk of Tom Atkins, I talk of Graham Myers. If they can play good football tonight, they should be able to do a number on the Pies. And then the other one, the midfielders, if they can keep Brodie Grundy semi-quiet, there'll be a big chance.
All right, I know nothing about nothing, but by gee, I'd be keeping an eye on Jaden Stevenson in the first quarter. There's a man that can kick goals in a hurry. We're getting ready, but before we take the national anthem, the heat is on.
Heat is on the man you just mentioned for me, Howard. When you miss 10 weeks with a gaming suspension, you come back in, you feel like you owe the team, and he would want to perform at his best tonight, Jaden Stevenson. Young man, very capable. He's going to have a big night tonight. The heat's on him for mine. Howie, about to get to the national anthem. Hamish McLaughlin standing by. The teams are lined up, full house, and no rain around at the moment, which is a great sign. So you couldn't get a better night for football. Here we go.
if that doesn't get you going, nothing will. A big house at the MCG. The two teams running around. Perfect conditions, no rain around at the moment. We'll get to the toss shortly. Damo, always my favourite part of the Friday huddle when you tell us the tabloid headline for tomorrow. Finals time, it's time for you to go to another level, Guru.
Yeah, we will be able to do that tonight, I think, Howie. Because of the late omission of Reece Stanley out of the ruck, it puts the focus on Mark Butzarves. There's a really nice nickname that he's got that works for a headline writer, Howie. So if the Cats get up, and if they are going to get up, Butzarves is going to have to play well against Grundy. So it'll be Cats, Blitz, Pies.
Ooh.
So we're off to a good start there for the Geelong options. And
I'm not sure that's September stuff.
No, it's right up there, Howie.
Top three,
Like a top five again.
This other one, though, is next level, Das. Jaden Stevenson's obviously back after 10 weeks.
Yes.
So the question mark was, is he right to go and is he going to have an impact? And so we could just sort of frame a little question around that. Stevenson back, question mark? Or is Stevenson good to go, question mark? You bet.
Oh, no, that's not bad.
Yeah, he liked that too.
Yeah.
Look at his,
He's happy.
he's got some strut back.
The September operator.
He needed a win. Let's go.
That was a good one. I like that. The you bet. Scotty Pendlebury won the toss. The Pies will kick to the right of your dial. Damo.
It was your suggestion, Howie. So
Yes,
thank
and
you.
it was a good one. Well done by you tonight. Very, very nice work. Damo's off the hook for the rest of the night. We're just about set to go here. All right, who wins, Judge?
Pies win by 12 points.
All right, Noodles.
I like the Pies by 14.
Das.
Pies by 15 points.
Okay, I'll go the Cats by 10. The Chew Man wanders in for the first time tonight. Good evening to you, Chew. Triple M Red Z. You love a final. What's happening in this one?
I certainly do. Jaden Stevenson. So 8 out of his 21 majors have been kicked in first quarters. He gets off to a fly. And speaking of first quarters, this is a concern for Geelong. Their past two finals in first terms have been outscored 1-4 to 11-4. So that's a differential of 60
Sorry, he's going to
points.
jump into for a sec. Jed Hughes has come out of the warm-up. He's got a horrible limp up. And we'll find out if Doc's got an idea what's happened. But he's limping off the ground before the first bounce here, Jed Hughes. And he looks sort of almost lame. Dr. Rowan White, what's happened down there, Doc?
Yeah, Jed Hughes coming off with the physio and the doc, a little bit lame on that left side. I think it's an ankle. I think he might have twisted his ankle just in the huddle before the game. The docs are looking at him, looking to take off his boot. We'll give you an update shortly.
Bob Jane T-Marts, Dr. Rowan White, Tommy Brown down there at ground. The ankle would be the best possible result out of that.
Would be, yeah.
He could be able to
Moving
reach
a little bit better already, perhaps, Duke, don't you reckon?
Yep, he's just redoing his
Well, he's not
laces.
going down into the room, so that's a big plus for the Cats.
In fact, they're thinking about getting him straight back on. So Jed Hughes goes back onto the ground. Joel Selwood comes off the wing. Very keen to get Hughes back out there. In fact, Joel Selwood stayed out there. Hasn't been a player come off, has there?
Well, this is a scandal, Duke.
That means there's an extra player on the ground, surely.
No, they've got 3 on the bench at the moment.
Oh, he's calling one off.
So at the moment they've got an extra man on the ground. Zach Tui's coming off the ground. They're going all the way to full back. Hughes.
Welcome to your big final to Zach Dewey. Get off the ground, Zach.
Exactly. See you later, Zach. Not a spare seat left in the house here at the MCG.
Gone straight to Jamie Elliott, Duke, so obviously that's a pre-organised lockdown job. Been very good, Elliott, the last couple of weeks. Probably the best footy he's played in the last 4 years. So Hughes straight down the goal square to Elliott where he's standing, and Tui comes off.
Two of the greats of the game, Dangerfield, Scotty Pendlebury, game 300 side by side. Thanks to McDonald's. Triple M ready to rock the qualifying final. The MCG. It's the Cats and the Pies. Grundy got the first hit out. Blitzarves, his opponent, picked up off the ground by Taylor Adams. Shinned it forward. Grundy came to smash his way through. Back in there, Tim Kelly, the All-Australian this year. Pendlebury in game 300. Look how hot that footy is. Blitzarves' tackle was strong. Danger smashed in. Up by letting it go. Taylor Adams back in again. That is red hot right there.
Cracking in, aren't they? Taylor Adams, a couple of his attacks on the footy were absolutely brutal. Won the first contest for the game and cracked in again then against
Maynard off the footy, really heavy, pushing and shoving with Gary Ablett.
Treloar gets a kick out of the congestion, just shovels it forward. Dangerfield running back with a flight, takes a good grab. Centre half back, and the orange boots immediately splits it to the outer side. He's got options. Falls to ground now to Atkins. He's on centre wing. Goes back by hand to Kelly. Making a bit of a mess of it now. Atkins has got a real problem from behind.
The Goey's tackle was really good. Great sign. Good to see him back. 42 days between games for Jordan De Goey. And the mark's been taken. Great southern stand wing side. Jamie Elliott short to Pendle to side bottom back in the side. Now Stevenson. There's a nice round of applause. The Magpie fans.
Geelong got a couple of loose backs in Collingwood's forward 50.
This is 70 metres out, Jaden Stevenson, as Chris Judd said. We're going to have to think his way through this one down the line. Danger back there. Juggled attempt. Took a good mark again, Danger, and the releasing kick from half-back.
Luke Dalhouse looks in real trouble at centre half-back, running through the middle of the ground now. He can hardly get a gallop up. He's coming off the ground now. Dalhouse seems to be moving a bit better now. So early dramas for the Cats as they move the ball around the outer side. Got a look down there. Bob Jane at Dalhouse, Doc.
Yeah, Luke Dalhouse coming off with a left ankle injury. Turned it in the first 30 seconds. And he hasn't come good in the last minute. So we'll keep an eye on him.
Okay, so early concerns for the Cats. Ball's on the outer wing in the hands of Duncan. What type of crowd do you think we got, Chewy?
Geez, I reckon about 93, 94,000, Howie.
Them good numbers. Mitch Duncan, premiership player with this club, shovels the ball forward. Radaglia caught behind. First contest from Darcy Moore, gets it across the line, just forward of the wing.
It was interesting the first time Collingwood went inside forward 50. Blixarves bolted down there to be an extra number. You said they had a wall set up, Howie. That was because of Blixarves. Grundy just sat about 50 metres outside the arc and was trying to get the footy. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Adler got it to Selwood, but Taylor Adams picked the pocket in the end, drives it to centre half forward. Getting back, Kolajasny to go. He's socket off the ground, open space inside 50. To go, he puts his head. Getting back, Jack Henry, the former decathlete with all that athleticism to grind Myers. Phillips got him. Play on to call. The Magpies are out here. Thomas with a short ball. Mark's been taken. And Jamie Elliott sliding in. He's going to have the first legitimate shot at goal. About 48 metres he's going to have to kick it from, Nate Brown.
Moving really well, Jamie Elliott. He came back into the side. He probably took 2 or 3 weeks, Judge, to get himself going. He wasn't running as good as what he normally does, but the last 3 weeks his leading patterns have been really good, double, triple leads, and he's already taken a mark out in the outer wing. He's doubled back out of the goal square, taken another one. He's got a big tank.
Coming off a career high, best 5 goals in round 23, Jamie Elliott. First goal of the night on offer for him, directly in front. Looks pretty good. I think it might have been touched just on the line. It was. Tommy Stewart managed to force that through for a rush behind. So one behind them, the Magpies. Geelong yet to score. That is all brought to you on the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
IJ Liquor proudly independent. Pretty tight early. Big fly on the outer side. Probably going a little bit too early. Ray agreed. Pendlebury in 300 will get the free kick. Outer wing. 2 kicks from home from the Collingwood champ. He points forward, looking for options. That laser-like left foot, this time he just chips it up, puts it to space. Grundy's the target, nearly brought it down. Taylor in defence by hand. And now the Cats push it out of defence, and it's effective because it goes to Radaglia on the outer half-back flank.
Big Asava's got it. Big presence, capable of doing some damage in a final, you'd think. Talented young man, kick to the outer wing, southern stand side, rough head back there. Former Bulldog premiership player, worked a little 1-2 with Levi Greenwood. Now he comes back around, heading out to the members' side. Jeremy Howe has got a target. Hoskin Elliott's got it. Half-back, Selwood mans the mark. The hard-running wingman in Phillips. They cut back through the corridor. Grundy right in the centre of the MCG's taken the mark. Goes short to Crisp. A lot of Cats numbers folding back at half-back, so they're still in their defensive half of the ground, the Magpies, despite a lot of possession. That is a good-looking kick out to Greenwood. Now he centres it inside. Myercheck, well done defensively. Myers for the Cats did well. Parfitt kicks it out. Maynard back there. Looks like he's had a fresh finals haircut, Maynard. Going to dump this one long down the line. And Stevenson fisted away from him. Harry Taylor picked up. Elliott centering ball. Hoskin Elliott now 20 metres out. Tried to sock it off again and get boot to ball. Ricocheted back. Cats defence under all sorts of pressure. Hughes was tackled. And Main was involved in that. Along with Elliott goes through for another rush behind. So 2 behinds to the Magpies. Cats yet to score. Tommy Brown.
We spotted Delhouse hobbling. He's just gone down the rooms, Dr. White.
Yeah, on the bike, the soreness didn't come out. I think he was intimating he got a knock to the lower calf Achilles region, so he's gone down with the doctor for a closer look.
Bob Jane team asks the boys down there, side bottom. Good to see him back out there after that nasty injury. Darcy Moore marks centre wing. He's got options inboard. Doesn't go that way. Wants to pull the trigger with the ball deep inside 50 towards the pocket. Stewart effectively spoils at the back. Third man up, had no problems. And it's across the line. Here's Nath Brown, Triple M C-Bus Super Special comment.
Well, we've got, Judge, at the moment, you've got a lot of free Collingwood players 70, 80 metres from goal, which the Cats are allowing, but the Cats stacking enormous numbers back inside the arc, not allowing that easy kick inside forward 50.
Taylor Adams' first possession. You heard the call from umpire Ray Chamberlain. I think that is out there, who's played holding the footy going the way of the Cats.
The Cats yet to have an inside 50, Duke, so it's just confirming what Nate Brown says, that the Pies are getting it in at this stage. Geelong aren't able to get past their wall.
Parfitt down the line, Darcy Moore, perfect fist, landed straight in the lap of Chris Mayne. Back inside 50 again go the Magpies. Side bottom, I think, was the intended target. He waited for Elliott, and Kolajasny fisted over for a boundary thrown deep in attack. The Magpies
Having to go wide, though, at the moment, Judge, the Pies, every time they look up, there's an enormous amount of Geelong players standing inside defensive 50, so they've been forced wide.
So the Pies push again. Grundy beaten in the ruck. Hurried snap out of the pack from Adams. Bouncing ball!
Jeez.
Pies on the board. Adams has started nicely. Collingwood 1-2. Geelong yet to score. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. IJ Liquor proudly independent. Had a bit of it, that young man too.
He certainly has. Red Z lending 3 disposals, but also a couple of clearances as well in that major.
He started brilliantly, Howard. There's something special about players that start well in big games, in finals. They set you up. He's an experienced player. He's a leader, and he's been really hard so far in this final, Two-Man.
He has, and Collingwood's pressure rating, I know it's only early, but it's going at 256.
Wow.
AFL average is 182. Geelong at 175.
Let's have a look at Luke Dalehouse and the Triple M Bosch Tools replay screen. He's still limbering up down there. An ankle, Tommy Brown and Dr. Rowan White are telling us. And Paddy Dangerfield just looked a little winded before. He was holding some ribs. He's out there alongside Pendlebury, so no dramas. But as Two-Man just pointed out, the Pies have brought some early heat in this game. 1-2-8. Cats yet to score back in the centre. Grundy, too good for Blitzarves. In there was Wills. And meant a goal with a late inclusion on top of him. It'll be thrown up again inside the centre circle.
Chew, you told us about those slow starts for the Cats. Every Geelong fan here will be hoping they get the next goal.
Yeah, outscored by 60 points in their past first quarters from their past 2 finals.
And here's an opportunity for Gaza. First time we've called his name, but Mayne steps through traffic nicely. Dishes it out wide to the young man Noble. Fantastic story. Keeping Trav Varco out of the side. Gaza cuts it off. Pendlebury's good at ground level though. Couple of champions, Pendlebury, Ablett. Umpire takes control out of wing. You got Nathan Brown and Chris Judd on the Triple M C-Bus Super special comment. C-Bus Super offering members insurance cover that protects building construction workers.
So it's thrown up out of side, southern stand. It's only the Pies that have scored so far. Early stages, first quarter, leaded by 8 points. Dangerfield tried to rip it out. Brody Grundy's follow-up work was really good. On hands and knees, he got it to Mayne. Back to the young man Noble. His kick, it was a dangerous one, hung in the air, but Phillips took a good mark at half-back. Now they're away, the Magpies. They've started this game really well. Jeremy Howe from half-back sticks it out in front of Stevenson. Normally lightning quick, a little bit of a sandwich, and Stevenson beat 2 of them. Beautifully played, young man. Kick to Jamie Elliott. That's a big win, Juddy.
That is telling, isn't it? Harry Taylor came off his man. He was looking at Stevenson. Stevenson just wore the contact, didn't go to ground, but kept his focus on the ball. And Tui and Harry Taylor together couldn't stop Stevenson. Really telling bit of play for the Pies.
Big win for the young man. 10-week suspension. He's back on the big stage, and that was a big play. Jamie Elliott looking for his first goal of the night. The second for the Magpies. Beautifully struck. Jamie Elliott loves it. The Pies have got the first 2 in the qualifying final of the MCG. 90,000 plus. And they've jumped out of the box. 2-2-14. The Cats yet to score. Your Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
Couple of nice bits of play there, well done to Jaden Stevenson, but it all started from a half-back, Duke, and sometimes you've got to be brave. You've got a young man called Noble playing only a handful of games, I'd imagine, Ash, but he got the ball at half-back. Always the hardest place to get the ball is from half-back to half-forward. They set the wall up, you look up, you see just a wall of players, you go, where do I go here? I'm going to go sideways, I'm going to chip the ball 15 metres to a teammate who can't play on. Noble took the bid on, he saw a player on the 45 in the middle of the ground that hung in the air a little bit, and Dars, I heard you call it, it seemed dangerous, but it got there and it opened up the whole avenue to goal and just opened up this side of the ground, so it was very brave.
Red Z Elliott, his last final, the 2013 elimination final, number 1 ranked player, 4 possessions and a major.
That's your Red Z from Two-Man. Narkle trying to get a hand on it in the middle. Geelong just need a steadier just to calm things down. Collingwood's got all the footy. Phillips hooks it round inside 50 again. Geelong got the number straight to Stevenson.
Oh, wow.
They got free the Pies, and they're out to a ripping start, and this is everything Geelong did not want. Collingwood 3-2-20, Geelong yet to score. On the Triple M IJ look at scoreboard, Two-man inside 50s with Red Z.
10-zip Collingwood's way.
This is everything they didn't want, Juddy.
Absolutely, and that's what pressure of a final can do to you. 3 Geelong defenders there flew for the same mark. None of them were communicating with each other. Collingwood only had Myercheck in the contest, and he wasn't really even going for the ball in the end. Stevenson just stayed down, read the play, and they're under pressure here, the Cats. They need their leaders to stand up now, otherwise this game's going to get away from themselves very quickly.
Jack Henry's a young player, but on that occasion he's gone to the contest and had absolutely no contact with Jaden Stevenson, but he didn't get to the contest. That was his biggest issue. Did not get to the contest, so what he didn't do was get either near Stevenson or the contest. He took a little bit in between. Stevenson hung out and just read it so much better.
What about this at the MCG? First 3 goals, the Magpies. They led it by 20 points. They desperately need a clearance win. They're not going to get it. Taylor Adams to the edge of 50 again. Myercheck fisted away from Harry Taylor. Myercheck did really well. Got it back to Phillips. Sold Pendlebury to some pressure. The kick out wide has been marked by Mark O'Connor.
Good start from the Pies. The last 3 first quarters in finals, Geelong have been outscored by 80 points.
Mark O'Connor kicked to centre forward. It was ill-directed. Tom Hawkins didn't get a look at it. And a brave mark taken by Crisp, and he spears one through the middle of the MCG.
What are the possession numbers overall, Chew?
50-27 Collingwood's way.
Okay, Geelong working across half-back. Tui goes back to Menangola. A laid in for Stanley. Gives it to Gaza. Some people booing in the crowd. I don't know why. I don't get it, but it's a good kick, and it finds Duncan on the outer side.
There was a beautiful ball from Ablett. Duncan goes back inboard to Narkle, and they're going the slow option here, Juddy. They had a chance to just push inside 50.
I don't think it hurts them just having the ball in their hand for a period of time.
Kick down the line. Here's the All-Australian forward. Tom Hawkins got a one-on-one. It was a mismatch to Greenwood. And Tom Hawkins too big, too strong, too good.
Yeah, and you talked about them going slow, Duke, and I think it made sense. But the other thing it does, they've got big Tomahawk who can take a contested mark in a slow play situation, but they need to lock the ball in their forward half for a period of time. The fact that the ball's gone in there slow means they can set up behind it easier if they do turn the ball over.
Triple M Bosch Tools replay. Nate Brown, what did you see?
Looked like a push in the back. It's just been shown on the big screen here. The Collingwood supporters not happy about it.
Had an outstanding season, this man, Tommy Hawkins. They need him to step up and kick a steadying goal for the Cats. He's drifted it left to right, as he often does. It's been touched on the line. Score review, Juddy.
Touched, I believe. Don't bother with the arc.
Behind. I want to check if this touch before crossing this. Behind.
They got 38 different cameras, and Juddy said, don't review it.
One behind. Please check to see if it was touched.
Spent 30 million. Juddy's just sorted it out in 1 second. Howie, we've been saying this for 2 years here.
Triple M coach.
Your margin is my opportunity. That's what I say to the AFL, and Judd Corp is ready to talk.
It's got to have cleared the whole line. I'm seeing the Triple M Bosch Tools replay on the Coates High score review.
Well, we got 30 replays and 9 cameras and 7 operators versus our man.
It's not that hard.
He's gone confidently.
The judge called it in a nanosecond.
He did, but
there's smoke coming out of the arc down there at the moment.
First time they've really been a big test for the arc.
They might need to build a second arc, I think.
No, Judge got it. He got it, so it's a behind. Geelong are on the board.
You know who had an arc, Duke? Noah.
He did. I'm not sure the relevance of that. He did have an arc, reportedly, if you believe that book. Howe drives it out of defence. Parfitt kicks it straight into Sidebottom's face. Now comes to the wing. An important ball to be won. Going in low and hard is the free kick going the way of Myercheck. It goes against Henry. Everything going the way of the Pies at the moment. They lead by 19 points halfway through the first term.
What a great player Brodie Myercheck's become. He's played every game since debuting in round 11 last year. Only around in the VFL. He's already got 65 career goals in that time. Brodie Grundy stands up down the line. Front and centre, Josh Thomas. Blitzarves winning it the other way. Starting to get their hands on the footy now, the Cats. Ablett down the line again to Hawkins. Beautiful pick up from the big man to Henry. Dalehouse back on. Can he get past Greenwood? Tackle has drifted a little low. And the free kick goes the way of little Lukey Dalehouse. 65 out from goal.
And back on the ground after an early issue. Dalehouse needs to hit a target inside 50. Elects to drop it high into the pocket. Hawkins at the back of the pack plays the role of the rover. Dishes it out towards the crisper, who's played a lot of games in a row. Hooked across to Kelly, and his kick doesn't quite have the length, and Main marks in the defensive goal square. Geelong are one behind, Collingwood a 3-2 on the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. IJ Liquor proudly independent.
Jeremy Howe, ball in hand, deep in defence. As Tommy Hawkins picks himself up, sucking in the big ones. Howe's going to get this one out of defence as far as he can, sliding in front to go. He couldn't complete the mark. Out the back, Zach Tui. Super impressive player, Zach Tui. Down the line, Brian Myers has claimed the mark, so the kick didn't have much margin for error until he hit the target. Myers goes back to the Irishman O'Connor. He's going to send this one back inside 50. Grundy back there defending, side bottom fisted down, landed in the lap of Hawkins. He squeezed the handball back out. Dalhouse and Gary Rowan got a gift right on the edge of the goal square. Howe can't believe it. Man in front won the day.
It was a bit of luck, wasn't it? They were chipping the ball around the Cats, keeping it alive, and a nice handball from Tommy Hawkins. He looked like he was going to be run down, but just took that little bit of extra time with the footy. Sometimes you can almost allow the tackle to come to you, and you've got that extra second to make a better decision.
Gary Rowan, 24 goals for the only kicked 3 since the bye, and that is a good one for the Cats. Good one for Gary Rowan. He kicks the Geelong Footy Club's first of the qualifying final. They're 1-1-7. The Pies are 3-2-20. Triple M IJ scoreboard.
You can see what Jeremy Howe was trying to do. There was a contest 30 metres out from Geelong's goal. He went back to sweep on the goal line, which is a really important thing for a defender to do, so that no low-sized goals trickle through. But when you've got your teammate standing 10 metres out from goal, you're actually better off manning up on him. You can still get back to the goal line if need be, but it just stops your opposition member taking an uncontested mark like Gary Rowan did on that occasion, 10 metres out from goal.
Around the grounds to Manchester. Chewy, what's happening in the cricket?
Yeah, we've got a bit of rain as we speak, How we've got a full deck of covers. So England trailing Australia by 474 runs with play yet to commence, 9 wickets in hand.
Okay, the Monopoly game at Macca's is back and bigger than ever. Visit maccasplay.com.au for full terms. Can Geelong get another one to edge their way back into this one? Selwood at the fall of the ball. Should get a free kick for high. Does. The Warrior skipper, already 3 premierships at this club, one in his first year in 07. Into Dangerfield, yet to win a flag. Drives a low ball inside 50, gets out the back, and there he is again. Gary Rowan at his new club could kick 2 in 2 minutes.
Well,
30 out, directly in front. Sorry,
he read that one really nicely, Gary Rowan. He realised the ball was going to travel just that extra little bit, and when you've got the pace that he has got, it pays to pay him where he's been playing out of the goal square, because nobody's going to beat him off the mark, and if he marks the footy, he's in goal scoring range.
Should kick it from only about 28 metres out to really tighten this one back up. Rowan trots in, shanks it horribly. That is a terrible kick. Misses everything. Noodles.
It's one of those sliders, Howard. Let's have a look at the Triple M Bosch Tools replay. Everything looked straight. It was just the ball drop. The ball drop just went a little bit to the right. Doesn't take a lot, as we heard with Steve Smith pre-game.
Hard to miss the whole lot from 20 metres out, Brownie. That's quite extraordinary. Blitzar's picked up the handball back to Henry. Here come the Cats back inside 50. Rowan's going to try and launch at this one. Got hands on it, then won it at ground level. Well played. Dished it off to Dalhouse. He's wrapped up by Treloar. So another ball up inside forward 50 for the Geelong Footy Club.
What did Gary Rowan's miss have to do with Steve Smith?
Well, Steve Smith couldn't figure out where his foot was or his shoe was if it wasn't aligned with the New Balance sneaker.
Right.
That's what we got told pre-game.
I still don't see the link. McDonald's, Triple M Rocks footy.
I don't see the link to Noah Ark.
It's a fair call. Free kick too high. Now the Cats are coming. They're not happy with the treatment that the skipper's getting. And Degoe gets shoved out. And Joel will get a free kick. He's second in the space of a couple of minutes. That one well deserved. Has he got the distance in the Warrior legs from 52?
Not for mine, I don't think, but he's telling the umpire he wants to take the shot. He's going to take his full 30 seconds, but he's lifted along with Dangerfield and the other leaders from Geelong.
Is Radigalia in the scene down deep or not? I can't see him. He's not. He goes the short ball now. Coming out with a double fist is Darcy Moore. Gets the distance of a kick to Goey. Haven't called his name so far. He's slung across the line by Stewart. Bit of feeling in this one now, and Geelong will keep the ball in attack, but they trail 3-2 to 1-1 on the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard, 21 into the first term.
Powerful tackle it was from Tom Stewart. The Cats have lifted here. With a lot of play in their forward half. All of a sudden, Tim Kelly, Selwood, Stars combining there. Selwood's kick landed in Pendlebury's lap. He thought he'd claim the mark. Play on now. He's coughed up the handball. Dangerfield bombs to the goal square. Free kick.
Oh, downfield.
Certain goal coming up Geelong.
Just looking at the Triple M Bosch Tools replay there, Duke, there was some very mild contact.
That's soft, Judge.
To Dangerfield's neck from Taylor Adams, but that is soft as butter. This time of year, Brownie, you can't be paying them.
Never.
No, any time of year. Yep, good call.
And Danger immediately called that it should be downfield to the umpire.
That is a big, big penalty to pay. Joel Selwood's getting big time into the lip with Adam Treloar on the Triple M Bosch Tools replay. They're going at it big time. But Tom Hawkins gets a gift. It looked really soft. The C-Bus Super Special boys, Brownie and Juddy, are saying not on that free kick. So Tom Hawkins, about 10 metres out, slide angle, and a bit of footy karma there, Juddy.
Yeah, absolutely. I reckon sometimes you can feel that energy in the game go up, and it's become more physical, and the umpires can sense that as well. And I think they just picked out a bit of a nervous one then, the umpires.
Yeah, missed one. He should have kicked there, Tom Hawkins. 1-2-8, 3-2-20. It's a 12-point lead to the Pies.
Ball goes to the outer flank. Nice work by Hoskin Elliott. Takes contested mark. A little slider to Stevenson. And he spreads it further wide to Main, who's got it defensive side of the wing for the Pies, who lead it by 2 straight kicks.
Side bottom on a long searching lead down the southern stand wing side. Main held onto it and goes short to Penry. What's he had so far, please, Shoeman?
He's only had 3 touches.
300 game superstar tonight. Scotty Pendlebury, the skipper, going to work it around the commentary members wing side of the MCG. Jordan Roughhead has had an absolute shank. It's missed the target by 40 metres. Nathan Buckley, one of the best kicks of the footy ever, is going. What have I just seen there? He's gone out of bounds, so no damage done yet, but about 60 metres around from the Cats' goal.
Coach looking a bit befuddled on the Triple M Bosch Tools replay. Good, better Bosch, professional power tools, measuring tools and accessories. Collingwood off half-back, wobbled it forward. Elliott had plenty of it. Plays in front, marks on the AFL logo. Centre wing, the Pies lead it by 2 kicks. That's a clever ball and hard running from Adams, who's been best on in the first term. Spearing ball finds Myercheck. Kick and a half from home. Brody. He's got options deep. Goes that way now towards the pocket. Big fly from behind. Mark can't be taken. There's a pie that's hit his head. And that was Hoskin Elliott, who covered some enormous ground after he started the chain off the half-back flank. And it'll be tossed in 2 metres around from the Pies' goals. They lead it by 2 kicks.
Just took the wind out of his sails there, Will Hoskin Elliott. Triple M Bosch Tools replay screen. The Pies are now inside their forward 50 boundary throw in.
A couple of players just sitting off this pack if they can get the footy out to them.
Probably won it down, but Mitch Duncan stole it away, landed in lap with Myers at half back. 24 minutes gone first quarter. Pies by 12 points. Myers kicked through the corridor, looking for Selwood. Main in the way. Now it's going to come back. Greenwood by hand in the end. Treloar. Here's Stevenson, hard running from Levi. Greenwood got it back, not normally known as a great kick of the footy, and he's coughed it up badly, straight to Tom Stewart, half back.
He was in perfect position there, Tommy Stewart. And he continues along. Number 44, another wonderful season. Drives it to Harry Taylor. He was very honest with the media during the week, Das. Said he wasn't sure what next year entailed. He's got it half back, just a little chipper. And he finds Hawkins on the wing.
Yeah, still a long way from home for the Cats. 25 gone in this first quarter. 2.5 minutes remaining until quarter time siren. And as Juddy said, they like to play a bit of slow ball, the Cats. Bit of poise with ball in hand. Main got it to Treloar. He was wrapped up immediately. This ball's on centre wing. Outer side. Southern stand. Noble gets back there. Darcy Moore. Little one to Pendlebury. He's good enough to get it to Adams. Gets it moving to the hard-running Treloar. More possessions than anyone in the AFL this year. And there is Stewart, who is effectively loose man at the moment, Brownie, and he's too good a player to leave in that space.
Yeah, it's an enormous amount of numbers back for the Cats at the moment. This is a good transference of play.
They went aggressively into the middle of the ground to Blitzarves, now to O'Connor, now Duncan on the wing. They got men out. Oh, misses Kelly. Keeps it in, though. Does Tim. Left foot ball. All Collingwood down there. Howe perfectly positioned in front of Rowan. and takes a nice mark. Mark Howard, Luke Darcy, Chris Judd, the two-man Nathan Brown on the boundary. You got the dock. And Tommy Brown for Bob Jane T-Marts. They've got a month of big deals on big brands such as Bridgestone, Hancock and BF Goodrich at our good buddies at Bob Jane.
Early numbers coming through, 91,266 in the house at the MCG. What a sight it is. And it's a beautiful night as it turns out. Mel Blitzar's effective fist right through the players' interchange race on the wing side here at the members. And it is 3-2-20 Collingwood, 1-2-8 the Cats, 12-point lead. We've got 1 minute and 8 seconds remaining until quarter time. It's the Pies who jumped out with the first 3 goals, and the Cats have steadied since then. Grundy with strength opposed to Blitzarves. Phillips has been pretty good early. Wills ran into some heavy heat from Duncan, and it will be thrown in a bit further advanced, Two-Man.
Dangerfield, number 1 ranked player for the Cats, 7 disposals, and for the Pies, their leading ball winners are Main with 9, Adams 8, and Amage and Phillips with 7.
It was expected to rain pretty heavily at the MCG tonight. Not a drop at the moment. The only rain in Manchester. The cricket not got underway to date. Centre wing, AFL logo. And the players will hand the ball over to the ump.
What are the clearances, Two-Man? Sorry to interrupt, Howie. Looks like the Cats are getting smacked out of there.
Where they were at one stage, they were down 6-1. It's currently 7-4 Collingwood's way.
Grundy with strength out of the middle to Treloar. Under pressure, Collar Jasny. Here's problems. Side bottom, little hand pass. Elliott's going to kick another one. Don't hand pass it. Jamie kicked the goal. And he does. 2 for Jamie Elliott. Thought he was looking for a real ridiculous handball at one moment there, but he wised up and kicked his second. Collingwood, nice start now, 4-2-26. Geelong 1-2-8. And that is with about a minute to go in the first term on the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
That's the second occasion tonight where Geelong have had numbers back, and that's what they want to do right now. They want to get enormous numbers back behind the footy in their defensive 50. It's always been their game plan. Collingwood have kicked 4 goals, but on 2 occasions tonight, the ball has come in with a quick-fire kick. Geelong have had more numbers, maybe 2-on-1, 3-on-1, but they haven't been able to clear the footy. On that occasion, 2 Geelong players went up. Again, Myercheck was the only one who stayed down, got the ball at ground level, ended up kicking a goal from it. The other one I remember was Stevenson, a 2-on-1, and then it goes into the forward line again. Stevenson, 2-on-1, stays down when his opponent went up, who was Henry at that stage. So at the moment, Geelong are getting enormous numbers back defensively, but they're not using those numbers.
29 seconds until quarter time. 3-goal lead to the Pies. Great start. Narkle wins the clearance. Can they get a mark here and a late shot at goal? Jeremy Howe. Brilliantly done. Superb defensive mark. Spears this one out in the Pendlebury direction. Oh, what a mark that was. How effortless was that one-handed grazing, wasn't it? Superb effort.
Just a one-handed pluck from Pendlebury. Something a little bit more spectacular. Attempted on the outer side. Hoskin Elliott gave away a free kick. Two-Man, what did you tell us before the quarter started about Geelong and finals recently?
Yeah, their past 2 first terms prior to tonight, they've been outscored by 60 points in first quarter. So past 3, Howie, they've been outscored by 78 points in first terms from their past 3 finals.
Well, they've given up 3 goals early. Collingwood 4-2-26. Jamie Elliott's got a couple. Geelong 1-2-8. An 18-point lead to the Pies in front of 90+ in the qualifying final. McDonald's, Triple M, Rocks Footy. Quarter time of the MCG. Collingwood with the jump, 4-2-26. 2 of those to Jamie Elliott. Geelong 1-2-8, leading it by 3 kicks the Pies. And on the Triple M Installer Ream scoreboard, Bob Jane T-Marts has a month of big deals on big brands such as Bridgestone, Hancock and BF Goodrich. Bit happening in that first term, Tommy, especially before the bounce even started. Everyone okay?
Everyone's relatively okay, Howie, which is good. Both sides with a clean bill of health. Dalhouse, the Cats' only concern, hobbled for a bit but worked his way back into the game. Dr. Ryan White, have you spotted anything in particular in regards to both sides?
No, everyone looks fine. Dalhouse got a knock to his lower calf ankle region. In fact, I just saw the trainer take out an old boot to Dalhouse to that right foot. So he's got one dirty boot on the right and one brand new boot on the left. Obviously, the new boot's a bit uncomfortable, Tom.
All right, thanks to the boys down there. Social media blowing up that they're having trouble watching it on the distinguishing between the two sides. I haven't found it a concern, Juddy, for you?
People love to complain these days, Howard.
They do.
The outraged police are back in control. I think they should sit back, stop whining and enjoy the game.
Well, tell me about the game, Noodles, quickly before we get underway again.
Well, I thought Collingwood were clearly the better side in that first half. Geelong wanted to get numbers around the footy and then defensively inside their defensive 50, but Collingwood just played a pure game of footy. Had to go wide on a couple of occasions, but Geelong didn't use the extra man they had in defensive end. In fact, that was probably a hindrance in the end, but Collingwood looked sharp. They used the footy better. They spread Geelong with the football, and to be honest, Geelong are lucky to be this close. It's a 3-goal margin right now. That's probably the only thing that's kept them in this game, the fact that Collingwood didn't put them away.
I agree, Brandon. I think the way Geelong is setting up, they're hoping Collingwood lose this game rather than the Cats coming out and trying to win it themselves.
Good way to put it.
Triple M C-Bar Supers. Red's Head lending, G-Man.
Jamie Elliott, number 1 ranked player on the ground. 6 disposals and 2 majors. Dangerfield leading ball winner for the Cats with 7.
Looks like he's starting on the bench. Jamie Elliott alongside Adam Treloar. Triple M Red's Head lending stats. Red's Head lending loan specialist for the self-employed. Here's Luke Darcy on a Friday night.
We're ready to get the second quarter underway. Impressive start to this game. The Magpies, big qualifying final. Over 90,000 in the house. Perfect night at the MCG. And the Magpies with an 18-point lead. Radigalia. Grundy too good. Taylor Adams first possession. Well played. Big Asava though. Got it. And then just hacked it forward. Edge of the 50 ball. Main went back courageously. Ablett wrapped him up with a good tackle. Haven't seen much of Little Master so far, Two-Man.
Is it just had the 5 possessions? Hasn't hit the scoreboard to date.
Braden Maynard doing a really good job there, Duke.
Grundy working in his defensive zone in the ruck to Wills, to Adams, who's been outstanding in the first term, kicked an early goal, showed some influence. Harry Taylor with a reverse barrel, not easy to do. Lands nicely though to Atkins. 60 from home, chips it towards the pocket. Well done by Roughhead, affected a spoil. Now Moore looks for the boundary line. Does it cleverly, just keeps it in. Pendlebury and Kelly. A couple of all Australians this year, and neither can win that battle. So the umpire will toss it up just inside the boundary, about 49 out from the Cats' goal.
Braden Maynard really focused on going to Gary Ablett. If I was Chris Scott, I'd push him on the ball a couple of times. Just test Maynard's resolve out.
Adams emerged with the footy, got it back to the youngster in Noble. His father, David, very key part of the footy department at the Brisbane Lions. They've got a big final up there tomorrow night at the Gabba. This is now Stewart who goes back to Duncan. Still 2 kicks from home. The Pies have folded back a lot of numbers, so he goes back sideways to Stewart. AFL logo, members wing side of the MCG. Play on's the call, so nothing apart from a long kick. Big pack down there. Radigalia, Grundy. First hands Pendlebury, got it back to Darcy Moore. Under pressure, Maynard. Ablett wrapped him up, and they maintain another opportunity inside forward 50 to the Cats.
Massive start by Taylor Adams, Judge. You said you love the fact that he came to play early. 10 disposals, 6 of those clearances so far tonight, and he's kicked a goal.
18-point lead to the Pies, early stages, second term. Elliott's got a couple with the black and white. Kelly grabs it out of the ruck contest, shovels it forward. There's a shot towards goal. In the end, it rolls across the line a metre round from the goal, so it'll be tossed in with Geelong in attack as Adams and Kelly have a bit of push and shove on the Triple M Bosch Tools replay screen.
Teams love this repeat possession inside forward 50. Just apply a bit of pressure on the defence. Cats won't mind this. Tom Hawkins grabbed clean possession out of the ruck, touched off the boot, and ended up going through for a minor score. So the Cats applying a bit of heat here, early stage of second quarter. They're 1-3-9. The Magpies 4-2-26. Triple M install the room scoreboard.
Collingwood run the ball out of defence. Maynard, wobbly old kick. Grundy marks well in front of Radigalia. How's he going on the Reds' edge, Brodie Grundy, Chew?
He's had 4 disposals, leading the hit-outs 12-2 versus blitz halves.
Okay, so dominating in the ruck, as you'd expect. Pendlebury, short to Wills. Now Maynard charges through the middle of the ground, hits Stevenson wide.
Good lead presented from Stevenson. Opposed to Stewart. Now side bottom got off his man, and they picked a few gaps through the defence of the Cats here. Side bottom usually a beautiful user of the ball. 52 metres out. Called to play on. So he dumps this one down the line. Meyer check from behind. Competed well. That's a good mark. Jack Henry in front on the second attempt. Claims the mark. About 30 metres out from his own goal. Does Henry. Sends it long down the wing. More Radigalia contest. A little youngster Noble, just his 4th game in a big final. Picked up by Roughhead. Back to Noble. Crafted a kick around the corner really cleverly. and found Main.
Who immediately goes by hand to Pendlebury. Danger here for the Cats. Coming from behind, Stevenson. Well done, Duncan. Retained his composure. He was under pressure, one-on-one in the square. They're going to come back again, though. Howe from 45. Long ranger! Jeremy Howe, take a bow. Collingwood have got their 5th. And this is real concerns now for the Cats. 5-2-32, Geelong 139. Triple M installer Reams scoreboard, solar continuous flow and storage hot water. Reams, Australia's favourite.
Well, you talked about repeat entries and the importance that teams place on them, Duke, and that's exactly what Collingwood got instance. They were able to put enough pressure on the ball exiting their forward 50. Howe swooped on it. It was a 2v1 for Collingwood, and they just looked too strong at the minute. One bit of play that concerned me just prior to that goal was when Main took the mark out here on the wing. He was just able to give the handball to Scott Pendlebury, wandering by with ease. Geelong just aren't putting enough pressure on the Collingwood ball carriers, and if they don't start to do it, this game's going to blow it by 10 goals or more.
23 points is the margin right now. MCG qualifying final. The Cats minor premiers. They're facing a real challenge at the moment. Look at Selwood doing what he's done right from day one. Put his head over the ball. Got it back to Dangerfield. Down the line to Ablett. There's 3 of the best in the business. But Maynard played it well. Free kick against Gary Ablett. Maynard, true centre back, claims the footy and goes short. Trelaw's got it.
Goes to Maynard. He's had plenty of the footy this term. Falls out the back towards Grundy. He stayed down in that contest. Keeps it in. Main does well to do the same. Now Elliott, little check side kick. Had a little bit too much on it, but it lands in the hands of Sidebottom. Another one here will kill the Cats. Looks towards Stevenson. Good spoil from Henry. Gets it back out the defensive 50 and across the line. There's so much talk, Juddy, about the slow starts the Cats have had. Every one of their supporters at the moment is going, oh no, not again. Are the players thinking that or not?
I think they are. And I think part of it is to do with the fact that Brownie keeps pointing out they're just flooding numbers back and expecting they're going to be able to turn the ball over. And at this stage, it's not working for them.
Updated crowd numbers just a tick under 93,000 in the house. Noble short. Mark wasn't taken by O'Connor, the Irishman. Kolajasny got back. Duncan spirals one out of defence. Centre wing. Selwood and Ablett ran into each other. The ball spilled to the ground level. Ablett's now been claimed and gone. Maynard all over the little champ at the moment.
The thing is, Judge, when you flood numbers back down in Geelong, because the ground's so narrow, it's a lot longer, but it's skinny. You can quite easily defend that. You look out here how wide the MCG is. You flood numbers back, there are still so many spaces just outside 50. You can kick the football. You don't get those kicks down in Geelong, and that's what is hindering Geelong right now. They're defending like it is down in Geelong.
Hence, finishing on top, they've probably got a pretty strong argument that they should get a home final. But anyway, that's a debate for another day to ask. Nathan Brown, Chris Judd, Triple M Cbus Super special comments. Cbus Super offering members insurance cover that protects building construction workers.
You're a declare to the Triple M family where you live, Howie?
I live down near Geelong. I don't go for Geelong, but I think they're a bit stiff.
So playing up to his home audience a little bit, Juddy. It sounds
who will be burning houses in Corio at the moment.
Sidebottom's going to send the Pies inside forward 50 again. To go, he hasn't had much of it. Now he picks it up, goes with a banana from the pocket, bounces to the goal square. And Henry got back and just rushed it through. They are dangerous at the moment. Collingwood 5-3-33, Geelong 1-3-9. That's an even 4-goal lead on the Triple M installer Reams scoreboard. 7 minutes gone, second term.
Solar continuous flow and storage hot water. Reams, Australia's favourite. So what can Geelong do, Nath, to just shake things up a bit here?
Well, they need some more numbers around the footy, because at the moment they're not being able to move the ball from half back to half forward, because when you put so many numbers behind the footy, everybody starts behind the football. So you look up in the middle, you got maybe 1 or 2 players to kick to, but that doesn't allow you overlap. That doesn't allow your players running past for the handball. So that's the thing for Chris Scott to decide right now. Do I stop getting numbers back behind the footy, and do I play more of a one-on-one game to get us back in this? I don't think it's that point yet. 4 goals, not insurmountable. I think they can get back, but if the Pies kick the next 1 or 2, then Chris Scott needs to change the way he's playing.
When you speak like that, I think you should have been a coach. Well, then I know more about you and I'm not so sure. Free kick for deliberate out of bounds on the outer side. Goes to Wills. He goes very short to Sidebottom. What's his numbers, Stu, coming back after a nasty one?
7 possessions, 5 marks, red Z.
Okay, good to see him back out there, the champ. Had a massive final series last year. His kick inside 50 is fisted away across the line. Here is the two man.
Yeah, Howie, so the past month, Collingwood have been averaging plus 55 in uncontested ball against their opposition. Tonight, they're already plus 43.
Running with a new brown bomber jacket tonight too.
Yeah, Doc White likes it. He made a positive comment about it.
And good touches, the two-man. He's a finals operator. Our man, the two-time day, two-time night statistician. Soccer off the ground, Myercheck nearly created something from nothing there. 5-4-34, 139. The Magpies dominating on the installer room scoreboard. Tell you, he's been good, Myercheck, Juddy, against an extra number. He's competing really well.
Really well. Yeah, underrated player, brought into the club as a backman, but now he's becoming a really serious forward for the footy club.
You look at the statisticians, though, the two-man, the Swamp, Joshy Kay, they don't typically roll as a stylish bunch, no? I think it'd be fair to say. As the ball's driven along the wing, is that fair enough, Stu?
That's a clip.
That is fair enough.
Do you think Howard's qualified to give you that clip, given his history of fashion expertise?
That's a fair comment as well, Juddy.
I think the statisticians typically whip down the dimmies when they're got a sale on. That's where they get their typical attire.
G. Ablett come up onto the ball, Howie. I like that move. It just looked like he was starting to get ragdolled a bit by Maynard down back.
At least I buy my own clothes, Chris.
Okay.
Money bags now. Put the 6x6 into it, has he?
Super special comments then. We've got Chris Judd, Nate Brown back there in the back row, Narkle. Cats go forward to 50. Great courage. The Pig Greenwood. That was superb. And the degree of difficulty on the mark, Nate, he really had no look at the ball, just committed his body and took a great mark.
Swirling around, the eyes would have been in the lights as well. Almost had to guess where the footy was in the end. It's one of those ones where you can look silly if you don't take it, but enormous courage.
This is Scotty Pendlebury, the skipper. Game 300. Spears it out to Brodie Grundy. Beautifully executed kick. The big man's got it.
Goes inboard. An aggressive ball is good to the crisper. How many games has he played in a row, Chewy? It's a lot.
This is 121.
They're good numbers. To the crisper. Goes towards Elliott. Does well. Keeps his feet in the middle of a couple of cats and immediately butters up. Gives it to Myercheck. Hopeful hand pass to Treloar. Does brilliantly. Adams has already got one. Adams has got two. Wow! Collingwood destroying the Cats at the moment. 6-4-40. Geelong 139. Out to a 31-point margin. You said this was the worry, Chew. Wow, it is coming to roost at the MCG tonight. That's all on your Triple M Installer Ream scoreboard.
He just looks like a man possessed at the minute, Taylor Adams. There's two parts of playing well. There's the preparation, what you do Monday to Friday, and then there's the decision players make on game day to actually come out and play well. And he's made that decision tonight. He's been electric from the very first contest. He's been physical. He's been tough. He's run incredibly hard. And at the minute, he is clearly the best player on this ground.
Adam Treloar cops a little bit of flack for how much his possessions don't count. I mean, he's been instrumental tonight. I mean, to take that handball and know that Taylor Adams is going past, sets up a goal. It's a goal assist. He has used the ball well tonight, Treloar. 31-point
lead to the Magpies, but Tommy Brown, a bit of drama for Collingwood as well. What can you tell us?
Drama boundary side. Jordan De Goey, he's just gone down the race with the Dr. Rowe. Did you notice anything?
Not sure, Tom, except he got a lot of work in that hamstring in the last quarter. I'm not sure what's going on. Doesn't look good.
Hasn't played for 42 days, Jordan De Goey. We'll find out. Dr. Rowan White always all over it. Going back to the flight, Jeremy Howe. They can do no wrong, the Magpies. That kick, though, has found Narkle. And Narkle can reload again. Back inside forward 50 for the Cats. Tom Hawkins is the intended target. In front, Howe again's been really good. Atkins over the top, but Danger went without the ball. Falling over is Maynard. Slapped it forward. Treloar, as Nate Brown said, had a huge amount of the footy. Myers has been pushed in the back. Yes, so Brian Myers will get a really good look at goal against Taylor Adams. Shuddy, what'd you make of it?
Oh, just looking at the Triple M Bosch Tools replay, I thought it was a 50-50 juke. He probably just got in his back. He tried to turn him, but didn't quite get him fully on his side. So 50-51.
Right on his distance here. He can only kick about 35 metres, Brian Myers.
It's an unusual kicking style, Brian Myers. He really arcs out and then drags it back across his body. They need a goal desperately, and he's nicked the left-hand goal post. And it just goes from bad to worse. 1-4-10 Geelong, 6-4-40 Collingwood. Triple M Installer Room scoreboard, 13 gone, second term.
Got a bit of the Matty Sucklings in it, that kick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Arcs out.
Buddy early days.
I don't think he'll get the call to go punting in an NFL team.
No, Chris. Doesn't seem to be that way, does it?
They don't take 30-metre jam tin jobs typically in the NFL.
Apparently not.
Okay, so Grundy's got her on the half-back line. That's what you get on your Triple MC Bus Supers. That's a lead from Chris Judd. Down the line towards Myercheck. He's battling away a couple of cats.
Not getting a call from Nathan Chapman's Cricketing Academy.
Pro kick's not on the line. And it's across the line. Any sign of Jordan Ngoe there, Bob James style?
No sign, unfortunately. Howie's been down there for about 5 minutes. Just for some context, he was receiving a lot of work on the hamstring late in the first quarter. In fact, he got a couple of tablets from the doctor at one stage, so it might have been an area of concern.
Hey, Tommy, just asked the doc, was that what kept him out, the hamstring, for the last 42 days, Jordan Ngoe?
That's correct. The tendon of the hamstring, which is the worst type, Luke.
All right, Dr. Rowan White there, the best in the business. Tommy Brown, the best in the business. Friday night, telling you the news first. So that might be the only negative so far for the Magpies. They lead it by 30 points, 5 goals is the margin. They're directly in front of their goal at the punt road end. But Jordan Ngoe, hamstring issue, is the only story for Collingwood of a negative type so far.
Spot on. Dangerfield needs to start really pushing himself into this game. Every contested ball at the moment seems to be going the way of the Pies. How many marks is that for Jay Howe?
Red Z Lending, Jeremy Howe, 7 marks, Howie.
Okay, Howe. He's called to play on, just takes half a kick really down towards Blitzars, punched away from him, 60 from home. Adams best on ground, 2 goals and plenty of it, caught in a tackle by Parfit. And
I'm worried about the influence of Brodie Grundy, Howard.
Yep.
7 disposals in the first 15 minutes of his second term.
Wow.
He's had 7 hit-outs, 4 of those to advantage just in this term.
They are all over it at the moment, the Magpies. Started this game superbly. Parfit's kick comes out. In the way is Greenwood. He's going to come back with interest, you'd think. Spears it out wide. Hoskin Elliott in front of his man O'Connor. Southern stand wing side. Stevenson provided a short lead. That was ignored. And now he's going to go back in board to Scotty Pendlebury. His numbers, please, Chew.
Pendlebury, Red Z Lending, 11 disposals, 5 marks.
Just barking instructions out there with the ball in hand to Pendlebury to side bottom. Side bottom short with the speed of Stevenson on the lead. Lightning quick.
They love this play, the Magpies, where they can just chip the ball 15 metres to a player leading up, and they can just do that on repeat all night if they're allowed to.
That was the Pies fans encouraging him to go the barrel. He decided to go short to Elliott. O'Connor back there's being nailed, Juddy.
Yeah. Jamie Elliott, brilliant pressure, wasn't it, Duke?
Superb stuff for the Magpies. Everything that you would want going their way. And on the Bosch Tools replay, it was the perfect tackle, Jamie Elliott, who gets a chance, tight angle, right forward pocket, punt road end. It's a 40-metre kick, but it's a really acute angle tucked up on the boundary line. What do you reckon, Nate Brown? This was your specialty.
I like him here from more dead in front. Sometimes when he's dead in front, he tends to lay back on it, but on these occasions, he can just let rip.
Career high, 5 goals, round 23. He's already got 2 tonight, Jamie Elliott. Shaping like he might be going the regulation drop punt, and it was way narrow. He's missed a lot. Out of bounds, 6-4-40 to 1-4-10. All the Magpies, Triple M install the room scoreboard.
Don't want to put the horse before the cart, Chew. How many days to the AFL Grand Final?
I think 22 days.
What's a typical light hamstring, Juddy?
3 weeks. But when you've had a history, you know, add another week or 2.
Okay, hopefully that's not the case for Jordan Ngoe, but those numbers will be starting to thrown around down there if that is the case. Hopefully not. Off the ground this term with what Doc thinks might be a hamstring issue. Maynard driving left foot ball inside 50. Myercheck back with the flight. Down the fall, the ball, quick snap, another one. Collingwood's got another one. Hoskin Elliott's got his first. There's a lot of time to go in this game, but it's 46-10, 6 goals. And the Cats are staggering in the 8th.
It's time right now for Chris Scott to have a look at the whiteboard in his coach's box and throw it around a bit, because what they're doing isn't working. The lead is getting too far now. It's 6 goals, so it's 36 points. He's going to say, okay, I'm going to back our players right now to go 1-on-1. The extra numbers I'm getting back in the defensive end, sometimes it's 9-on-5. I need those players now to start and get the ball in the middle, because we're getting the footy backwards of, I guess, defensive 50, and it's taking us too far to get to the other end. We can't do it. Collingwood's pressure's too good. We now need to start winning the ball in the middle of the ground. So everybody goes 1-on-1. You play on your merits and you try and get back a couple of goals before half-time.
Have a listen to this at the MCG. There's nearly 93,000. It's the Collingwood chant. They could not be happier. The Magpie Army going out around the MCG on a perfect night. And they lead it by 6 goals, 36 points. 7 minutes, 48 seconds until half-time. Wills sends them forward to 50 again. Henry at half-back couldn't complete the mark. Picked up by Kolodjasny. Kelly flicked it over to O'Connor. Can they get something going here, the Cats? Sweeping handball from him to Mitch Duncan. Cut back inboard. Radaglia. Awkward looking kick. It only went as far as Noble at half-back. Some composure from that little man. Pendlebury's handball missed the target. Kelly picks it up again. Radaglia dumped off the footy. Narkle squeezes the handball back to Selwood. Out wider, Stewart under all sorts of pressure to Dalehouse. 60 out from the Cats' goals, twisting and turning. Everything's under pressure for Geelong. Stewart now launches one in the Hawkins direction. Grundy back there, and the mark's been taken as it. Parfitt's claimed it, left foot snap. Is that a goal? It is a goal. Parfitt, something out of nothing. And finally the Cats get their second goal. And they needed that desperately. 2-4-16. That's Geelong. 7-4-46 the Pies. Triple M install the room scoreboard.
He took the mark, Parfitt, but I think he thought it was touched and he played on and went on to his left foot. Only just kicked the goal in the end, but certainly a steadier that Geelong very much needed. When you're watching this game at the minute, it just starts to look like Collingwood are aware they're a better and more committed side than Geelong. Geelong needs somebody or a group of players to change the direction of the game, because Collingwood just look harder, more physical, like they've got more belief in each other. Geelong need to get another 1 or 2 in a row just to start to build some belief back in going in towards half-time.
Bob Jane, T-Marts, T. Brown.
Jordan De Goey's still in the rooms, and Jaden Stevenson's just gone down the rooms, although the Collingwood doctor is on the bench, so hopefully just for a stop of some description.
Gee, I presume by the fact I'm seeing Craig McDermott batting on the Triple M Bosch Tools replay, there's no action in Manchester?
Still have a full deck of covers, Howie. Just Red Z lending, low numbers for Geelong in this quarter. Selwood 3, Dangerfield 2, Ablett 1. Overall, they're down by 37 touches in this second term.
They are playing an old test match on Vision. Graham Gooch bowling at the moment to Craig McDermott.
Gucci with the little swingers towards Maya Check. He's not going anywhere in the centre square. The Monopoly game at Macca's is back and bigger than ever. Visit maccasplay.com.au for full terms.
So Jaden Stevenson might have re-emerged back from outside underneath the stadium, Tommy Brown.
Yeah, he's back. I think he just might have had a leak, as Dr. Owen White described.
Little toilet stop, Tommy, you could go with potentially for Bob Jane T-Marts.
Is that the medical term, Tom?
Correct.
Elliott one-on-one with Zach Tui back there, and off-hands boundary throw. Zach Tui having a little bit of a remonstration with umpire Ray Chamberlain down there. Normally doesn't end well. They've got a bit to deal with at the moment, the Cats. They trail by 30 points. Side bottom, beautifully taken out of the ruck situation, and then Thomas's kick way offline, out of bounds on the full. So it's going to be a Geelong free kick deep in defence.
In the hands of Tim Kelly. He was up for discussion this week. Tommy, reports that he'd requested a trade. Is that reports or confirmed?
No, they're reports, Howie, but I think they're all but confirmed. He did a doorstop where he said that he hadn't made up his mind, but I think the common wisdom amongst my trade sources is that he will request a trade. It's just a matter of when, after the finals.
Well, if your sources say it, tell me I'm believing it. Henry makes a good contest. Oh, running straight past it was O'Connor. Out of wing, he's got enough space, the Irishman. One of those dinky little Gaelic kicks to Harry Taylor. The number 7, this is better for Geelong. Driving ball forward, Roughhead puts himself in a dangerous position. Does well. Now Phillips, little clever kick round the corner is good and finds Darcy Moore, who's just going to take a bit of heat out of the game at half-back.
He hasn't had to do a lot tonight, Darcy Moore, has he? You haven't really noticed him, so we haven't seen him test out his hamstring, but Collingwood doing it pretty comfortably in their back end. That was enormous courage by Jordan Roughhead. Off
the hands of Selwood, boundary throw in, about 70 around from the Cats goal. Tommy Brown for Bob Jane T-Marts.
And still no sign of De Goey, Das, but when I reported his initial hamstring, they said it was going to be 10 or 11 days in rehab. It ended up being 44, so it's a huge concern that he's still off the ground.
Thanks, Tommy. No sign of Jordan De Goey, but Stevenson back out there. Takes his spot back at half forward. Kelly was dumped in the tackle. Noble, really impressive young man. And a free kick's going to go the way of the Pies here at half back. Taken high was Phillips. He's been good to you, man.
For Red Z, he's had 11 touches.
Noble does well. Runs around a man with confidence, but his kick lets him down. Hits Dangerfield. What are his numbers, the champ, Chew?
He's only had 10 possessions, only 3 in this quarter.
Gaza?
Gary Ablett for Red Z, he's only had the 6 and scoreless.
Selwood?
Joel Selwood for Red Z, 7.
Okay. Not good numbers if you're a fan of the Cats. Menengola laid in. And Stanley went out. Taylor sends a high ball forward. Howe just says, get out of the way because I'm going to mark this on the chest.
Is it just me or is there no system at all in Geelong's forward entries? They're just bombing almost without looking.
Yeah, and I think that's connected to wanting to get so many players behind the ball and protect their back line that they can't equalise numbers in their forward line. They don't have players like Richmond have, like Lambert and these sorts of guys that can get up, create a loose around the ball and then get back and equalise in the forward line.
Guys have worked it all the way down to half forward, still side bottom. Enormous aerobic athlete covering a huge amount of ground here at the MCG. And again, this is that kick where there's a lot of numbers back, so he just skews one off the side of his boot inside 50. Easy pickings for Menengola back there at half back. Let's get back down to the Doc and Tommy Brown.
Mitch Duncan, as Geelong's injury concerned, Doc, what did he notice? He went down the race with the doctor.
We just saw the back of him, Tom, going down. The doctor with his medical kit, which means he must be getting some sort of treatment. We do know 2 or 3 weeks ago it had a significant shoulder injury, but at this point we're not sure. We'll keep an eye on him.
Doc and the Brown Dog on fire down there, telling us to go. He's been off all term. Hopefully it's not a hamstring, but that's the suspicion at the moment. Dangerfield goes in really hard. The free kick will go against him to Brown, though, with the old rule that came about up in Sydney due to Gary Rowan noodles.
They're both going for the footy, but the umpire was right in the part. That is what the rule is there for.
Noble drives the ball inside. 50! Maya Check, who's good in front of the sticks too, will line up from 35 to open it up to a 6-goal margin.
24-14. He's kicked 5 times this year. He's kicked 4 majors in a game.
You mentioned it, Darcy. Great story, this bloke.
Yeah, brilliant, isn't it? Running around the VFL, acts to every club to pick up Brodie Myercheck. Comes in, I think it was round 11 last year. He's played every game since how. He's kicked 65 goals. He's a ripper.
It's a good grab, normally pretty good finisher. Myercheck with a big kick. Leans back on it a bit. I reckon he's sliced it and hit the post. So back out to 31 points the way of the Pies on the Triple M Installer Ream scoreboard. Solar continuous flow and storage hot water. Ream's Australia's favourite. What's the game high, Tudes, at 6 goals?
Game high, Howie, spot on, 6 majors.
Good.
2 minutes and 47 seconds until half time. It's a massive margin in a final. Free kick's been picked out. The Cats are going to get it at half back, Parfitt. And you're going to go to the well again if you're Chris Scott at half time. You look at Dangerfield and you look at Selwood and you go to the greats, don't you? And you've got to ask for something special. At the moment, you just don't see where that's going to come from. Maybe this man, Danger, brilliant mark. Blitzars is deep forward. Danger's going to try and get it down there. Picks out. Brian Myers instead forward pocket. Well thought through. And Myers, in his first season, has been a good goal kicker. This one's fairly tricky angle, Nate Brown.
I reckon one thing Chris Scott needs to look at half time, they're very good at defending the long ball normally, the Cats, but so far the uncontested marks, Collingwood around the ground have been too easy. Just those little lead-up ones, 54-30 so far in the first half, uncontested marks.
25 goals for the year, Brian Myers. That funny little kicking action. And he's nailed it through. It looked awkward. It was extremely effective. And back-to-back goals all of a sudden, the Cats. Can they generate some life out of that? 3-4-22. Collingwood 7-5-47. Triple M Installer Ream scoreboard.
Really solid finish by Myers. It was a good call by you, Duke. Geelong needed something from someone. It was Paddy Dangerfield that just looks like he's trying to impose himself on this game. We saw him give away a free kick with an overzealous ground ball get against Callum Brown, who did well to get out of that without serious injury. Really strong contested mark there across the half-forward line by Dangerfield, and then played on quickly, took a risk, didn't just bang the ball in long, which Geelong have been doing too often, picked out Myers, and that's what they really needed going into this second half. You wonder if Chris Scott can maybe use Ablett a little bit more around the ground as well, maybe keep Joel Selwood, but they need to mix it up a bit because what they've had in this first half hasn't worked up till now.
Triple M Bosch Tools replay. Good, better Bosch professional power tools, measuring tools and accessories. An extraordinary kick from Myers. He increased the difficulty of the angle with his natural style, but managed to snag it as he ran deeper into the pocket. High kick goes to Selwood in the middle of the ground. They'd love to pinch one more here, the Cats. There's 1:38 on the clock. They've kicked the last 2. Still 25-point margin, though. It's a long way back. A quality team, though. Henry, who's been good, sends it wide to Menengola. He's 60 from home. You want to go quickly here. Well, Sam plays on. Going to send the ball to about 30 from home. Darcy Moore gets shoved out a little bit too easily in the end. Ball's across now to Zach Tui. Hooking ball, Zachary Tui!
Yes.
That is top draw from the man with the beard. Geelong's got the last three, and them and their fans are just starting to feel a bit more confident. Collingwood 7-5-47, Geelong 4-4-28. Back to a 19-point margin when it got out to 36 this term. That's all on the Triple M Installer Ream scoreboard.
It was a brilliant finish in the end by the Irishman. I haven't seen him kick too many goals in their forward line this year. Usually used down there and half back, but all of a sudden the Cats feel like they're coming alive. They're getting some repeat entries into their forward 50. Collingwood defenders look a little bit jittery trying to exit, and this is just the finish of the first half Chris Scott would have been looking for.
Bob Jones, T. Marts, Doc, what can you tell us about Mitch Duncan?
Yeah, Luke, back on the bench, but unfortunately in the second row looking very despondent. Just had a tap on the shoulder from the doctor. He's out for the rest of the game. Not sure what it is. We'll update you when we find out.
Okay, big story there. Mitch Duncan out for the game. Dangerfield, he's really trying to single-handedly drive his side back into the game. We just saw Chris Scott, the Bosch tool replay,
He punched the window.
Punched the window. Come on, he said. He's feeling it big time. They've kicked the last three goals. The Pies now trying to exit defence. Stevenson, Menengola, the late inclusion. Dangerfield had a heap of possessions. As always, Myers on the edge of 50. Stevenson back there for Collingwood. Taylor Adams has been enormous this first half. Up and under kick. 30 seconds left till half time. Can the Cats get another one? Fighting his way through. Thomas wrapped up in a strong tackle. And the clock ticks down a little further, but it will be thrown up on the edge of forward 50.
So he's got ice on the inside of his left knee, Doc, Mitch Duncan, at this point.
Howie, that could be a low hamstring or an adductor, so I'll have a closer look at that.
Okay, Doc White on that one. So it's just bumbling around, about 60 from home for Geelong. There's 20 seconds on the clock. In 10 seconds, Nath, what have they done in the last 15 minutes, the Cats, differently?
I just think they've got some clearances out. They've gone a little bit more one-on-one, and the big clearances are being won by their big player in Patrick Dangerfield, who stepped up pretty much since Duke said they need someone big to step up, and Dangerfield has been that man in the clearances.
Big strong tackle, Grundy. Just looking at Maynard and Gary Ablett off the ball. Those two have been at it all day. Grundy with strength from half back, took the clean possession. Mark taken by Menengola. There's the halftime siren. And what looked like a blowout was going to be underway in the final. Suddenly back to within a margin. What about this? Sam Menengola's 85 metres from home, and he's going to have a shot. He's kidding himself here, Menengola. This is an 85-metre attempt. He's kicked at 35. With a barrel. Dr. Rowan White, what's happening down there?
Yeah, Luke, plenty down here. We can see Mitch Duncan in the back row just getting up with the tracksuit on. He's out for the rest of the day. He's got the ice pack on the inner left knee. This could be a medial ligament injury or a low hamstring injury straight down the rooms. And, of course, the big news, Jordan De Goey, we had not seen him since the 10-minute mark of that second quarter. We're not sure what it is, but he did come in with a significant hamstring injury back in round 19. And we suspect it may be a recurrence, but that is yet to be announced. So we'll keep an eye on that.
All right, thanks to Dr. Owen White, Tommy Brown down there with the big news injury-wise at halftime. What a game this is. Qualifying final. Winner straight through to a prelim. 7-5-47. That's the Magpies. 4-4-28 Geelong, but they did kick the last three goals of the game. Halftime, it is the Magpies who lead it by 19 points. It's thanks to McDonald's. Triple M Rocks footy.
MCG's where we're at. Looked a bit dodgy for the Cats when they were 36 points down halfway through that term. They kicked the last three through Parfitt, Myers and Tui, so they trailed by 18 at quarter time, the Cats. Half time, Collingwood 7-5-47, Geelong 4-4-28. And as the Cats come back out onto the ground, McDonald's Triple M footy, Mark Howe with you, Luke Darcy and Chris Judd. Boys, we might have a bit of a chat about some of the games still to come this weekend. There's so much to look forward to. Deledio came back after announcing his retirement task for the GWS Giants. Hopefully it works out because he's been a wonderful footballer. It's a big decision, isn't it?
It's a big selection, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Brett Deledio. I think some of us, and probably me, I must admit, probably thought that was probably it for Brett Deledio, but good on him for getting himself ready to play. And you just go, Brett Deledio at his best is a walk-up start in any first 18 in any team for mine, Juddy, but obviously feel like he's going to get through.
Yeah, and like you said, a very talented player, and there is something special that happens when you know you're almost at the end. He'll be a very emotional man walking into that game, and we know at his best he's incredibly dangerous. So I like what the GWS Giants have done there, and I feel the position they're in, it makes sense for them to take a bit of a risk as well.
Yep.
Who wins?
Well, the big inclusions, aren't they? I think Jeremy Cameron back in didn't play when the Bulldogs beat them up there a few weeks back. Look, I think the Dogs in a close game, but I can see how you can mount a case very easily for the Giants.
Yeah, likewise. There's just so many Giant players that if they turn it on can win the game off their own boot. For mine, the Dogs are playing, I think they're probably playing the second best football behind the Tigers at the minute, so I'm going to go with them, Howard.
And then we move on to Saturday night, which is just going to be a wonderful atmosphere up at the Gabba Dust. You'll be lucky enough to call it on the 7 Network. I think Richmond might have won the last 8 trips up there to the Gabba, but gee, Brisbane, you figure if they're in it at half time, they can come from anywhere that turn.
Genuinely looking forward to getting up there tomorrow, Howie, at the Gabba, and friends of mine in Queensland who are rusted on rugby league fantasy. Just everyone's desperate to get involved. The Brisbane Lions have been one of the great sporting stories of the year in either code, and they play that game so well, that ground so well. 12 finals played at the Gabba. They've all been won by the Brisbane Lions in their history. They play a really good brand of footy up there. So that, look, Richmond are, I agree, they're the best informed team, but they're going to have to play their absolute best to beat Brisbane up there.
They'll look the winner at some stage, Brisbane. I just think Richmond have got too much class and too much finals experience to get over the line, and what Richmond have in their forward end is a little bit better than what Brisbane have in their forward end, and I think that's going to be the tail of the tape at the end.
Simply Energy giving you the opportunity to win the experience of a lifetime are our good buddies at Simply Energy at the 2019 Toyota AFL Grand Final for you and 3 mates. Go to simplyenergy.com.au to enter. Hurry, and Sunday, AFL authorised GP promotion, GF AFL 19/89. Hey, hopefully White Knight's not being put on again, because last time we tried to leave the MCG on a Friday night, I was in a car with you and Tunners and our man Noodles, who bailed out and got the train. We sat outside the MCG for an hour and we were looking inside our man Darcy's car. Oh, wow.
He wasn't anchoring on the breath, was he?
No.
He was absolutely
you're
going
calm,
berserk.
but when you were sitting there for 50 minutes, how was the Darce puncher-meter going?
It was a bit of meditation went on, Howie, because I just assumed we'd walk up to the guy and he'd let us through and everyone else would wait. He wasn't having a bar of it, that man, was he? He was that happy to knock us back. That won't be happening tonight. Jordan Ngoe placed on the interchange bench. Dr. Rowan White, might see if Doc's mic'd up down there at the moment. Doc, is that curtains for Jordan Ngoe as we expected?
Absolutely, Luke. He's got the tracksuit on. Look, he's in pretty good spirits. He's given the boys a pat on the back on the bench. But look, we suspect this is a hamstring injury. Collingwood yet to announce the nature of the injury. Keep an eye on it.
Dr. Rowan White all over it for Bob Jane T-Mart. Second half underway. 19-point lead to the Magpies. Dangerfield. First possession through the hands of Ratugolea. This is Main now. Well done, Ratugolea. Athletically got back in. Main's tackle was really good. Parfitt got it back to Kelly. They've gone all the way back to half back with the ball here. The Cats to Harry Taylor. That's a spiral inside out. Torp to half forward. Selwood crashed his body through as he always does. Dangerfield back in there. Look at the speed and power of Danger to Buse on the AFL logo on the wing, twisting, turning, and then dumping a long kick down the line.
Ablett comes late. Geelong have confirmed that it is a medial issue to the knee of Mitch Duncan, exactly as Doc predicted leading into the half-time break. Ball hurried forward. Here's an opportunity for the Cats, although Phillips is back there. Was Gazza held? That's what the crowd thought. Oh, it's a wobbly old kick. Touched. Falls towards the Cats. Snap towards goal from Dalhouse for the perfect start for the Cats for the term. It's narrow. It's a point. So Collingwood are 47, Geelong 49. A medial issue, Doc. What does that mean to us? Medial
ligament. And he had a bit of a limp, so that means it's possibly a moderate grade, and that could be a month, Howie.
Geelong 29 quickly, Howie. Just a correction, you said 49. 4-5-29 plays 7-5-47 is the score minute into the third quarter.
Geelong definitely more numbers around the footy and forward half of the ground, not going with as many numbers behind the footy. Good move by Chris Scott, which he did about 5 minutes before the first half finished.
Will Hoskin-Elliott from half back down the line. Ratugolea, Harry Taylor down there for the Cats. That's Tom Atkins at ground level. Noble got it on the outer wing. Southern stand side is side bottom. Kick down the line. Zach Tui. And off the hands of Stevenson. Kept in by Buse. He hacks one back down from where it came. And advantage has been paid. Myers gets some space. Gets the ball inside forward 50. Play on's the call. Dusty Moore back there in defence. Squeeze the handle out to Noble at halfback. Dalhouse gives chase. He's super quick, Noble. Gary Rowan's down on the ground behind play. And the mark's been taken by Henry, so the Cats will get another look inside forward 50.
Favouring a shoulder, it looks like, or a left arm issue for Gary Rowan with a high ball inside 50. The Cats have started the term nicely. Can they get that goal to really get themselves going? Hawkins wants to go inboard, done holding the ball. Good tackle. Gary Rowan, Doc.
Yeah, you're right, Howie. He's got a shoulder injury. He's looking very, very sore at the moment. The doc's going out to him now.
Let's get back into it as Doc keeps an eye on Gary Rowan. Here come the Magpies. Phillips have been really good. Treloar tried to just bat it forward to side bottom. Worked out okay. Streaming hard forward, the Magpies. Side bottom to Stevenson inside forward 50. Tom Stewart. Superb effort. The two-time All-Australian came up with a really big play at half-back.
Starting to win some good one-on-ones at the moment, Judge, the Cats are.
Yeah, and Tom Stewart's just been excellent all night.
And Doc, you got some confirmation, I believe, on Jordan De Goey.
Yeah, Collingwood have announced that indeed it is a hamstring injury. That is a real big blow.
So, Doc, they're talking 22 days to the grand final. As I said, you don't want to put the cart before the horse. You told us he'd miss 40-plus days. What's the situation with De Goey going forward?
Well, I've got to say, Howie, when you do your hamstring as a recurrent hamstring, you can basically double the time it takes to recover. I'm very pessimistic. It's not looking good for Jordan.
Okay, that is not good news. No doubt there'll be hamstring watch tomorrow morning at the medical centres. Tommy Brown will be on the case there. Gary Rowan still looks a bit winged on the bench. But the game's on here. It's a 3-goal margin after the Pies did lead by 6 goals. Here's a chance for Adams. He was their best in the first half. Look at that for a pass to hit Stevenson, who's got a long boot on him. He'll need it from 53, Nate. We saw him do it in Adelaide a couple of years ago.
Same spot, Howard. It was earlier last year, round 4 when they went to Adelaide, round 3 or 4 when they went to Adelaide, when he kicked 5 and really welcomed himself to AFL football. But he's got every bit of the distance from here. He's been a very good player in this first half, leading now into the second half.
You won't remember it, Judge. You weren't on that trip, funnily enough.
No, I was at the Adelaide trip.
Stevenson from 52. Oh, just shanks it and it's touched. Interesting ball. And it just tumbles through for behind. So a disappointing end to a good build-up. Collingwood 7-6-48. Geelong 4-5-29 on the Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard. Simply Energy powering up the AFL.
Zach Tui kicking duties. Streams out a full back. Punches it down to Dangerfield. What's he had, please, man?
17 disposals coming up.
Champ's got it at half back. All the numbers file down the line. And Danger looks sideways and then decides down the path to Ratugolea and Hawkins. Darcy Moore. That's a good news story. He looks fit. No problems out there, Darcy Moore. Transferring kicks good to Jeremy Howe. They've done this well, the Magpies, tonight. Transferred play well. Hoskin Elliott's run hard. Billy Elliott out the back. He's got some space and they've carved their way through it. Elliott, short one to side bottom. Jed Buse got in front, fisted it over. And a boundary throw in 45 round for the Magpies goal. True, man.
Yeah, with Patrick Dangerfield, so his last 4 finals, his kicking efficiency was going at 45%. Tonight he's going at 82.
Oh, that's a good Triple M Red Z from the two-man who does lift in September. And he's been involved in many of them. And one on Ashes as a statistician. Blitzarves immediately cornered by a couple of Pies.
Right, are you up, mate?
He's working in his defensive 50. No sign of anything happening at Manchester, Chewy, talking about the cricket.
No sign as yet, unfortunately, Howie.
Okay, might be time for an early lunch there. In fact, that's apparently what they've done at the cricket. Ratugolea flies, can't take a mark on the wing. Dowhouse immediately caught by a couple of Pies. Oh, it's a hand pass straight to side bottom from an opponent. That's a good ball. And he finds a hard leading Mychek, gets around his man, plays on, sets sail, but there's no one at home. Didn't think his way through that, and Stewart mops up at fullback.
Did it really well, Tom Stewart. Got a little short pass over the top to O'Connor. And now Menegola. Nice foot skills there from the Cats. Ablett trying to get into the game. He wanted the lead further down at half forward. What's Gazza had, two-man?
Yeah, for Red's head, he's only had 6 touches and scoreless.
This is now in the hands of Buse. Slightly defensive side of centre wing, southern stand side. Gets motoring. Spearing kicks pretty good. Dalhouse comes out, takes the mark. 60 from home. Now, what can he do with this next ball? Blitzarves is deep. They've got Narkle behind him. Ratugolea, huge pack coming from the side. Jeremy Howe, ground ball to be won. Atkins in there. Parfitt over the top, and the umpire says, give it to me, Jeremy Howe at the bottom of that. 7-6-48 Collingwood, 4-5-29 Geelong. Almost 7 minutes gone in the third quarter on the Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard.
Narkle hasn't had much of it tonight. Caught by Wills. And that's a good tackle. And the free kick will go the way of the Cats. Sparkle Narkle, Chewy.
He's only had 6 possessions, had 27 against the Blues, round 23.
So Adams gets the free kick for the tackle. Downfield, what's happening? Let's have a listen.
It's just late. It was late. It was late.
It was late on Elliott. So he'll get the free kick defensive point of the square. The Monopoly game at Macca's is back and bigger than ever. Visit maccasplay.com.au for full terms.
Yeah, that's a big story. The Pig Greenwood looks like he's got his jacket on it as well. Howard, be good to get an update from the doc there.
We'll find out Tommy Brown and the doc. The doc's just leaving his seat to go and check things out. He hasn't failed us yet. Dr. Rowan White will find out what's happened to Greenwood. Meyer check at 3/4 of the mark. Blitzar's back there. Tucked up on the boundary line. Buse trying to extricate the footy out of there. In comes some cavalry arriving for the Magpies. It was Stevenson climbing over the top and piling back in. The Magpies' pressure's been really good. That was Phillips. Eventually it goes over for a boundary throw-in. Doc, what did you make of Levi Greenwood?
Greenwood's got his tracksuit top on at the back of the bench and looks done for the night. Doc's just gone to observe.
Okay, for Bob Jane team arts, we'll find out Levi Greenwood potentially gone as well. We'll get a full injury update again from Dr. Rowan White shortly, but a couple of big stories already out of this game. Pendlebury superb. Maynard's handball a little too forward of the intended target, and Brown spills out now to Treloar. Wills gets dispossessed. Phillips picked it up, tackled by a couple. Tim Kelly over the top. So let's get back down to Dr. Rowan White. Talk us through what's happened so far, Doc.
Yeah. Levi Greenwood on the back row with the tracksuit on. He's obviously taking no further part in the game. Jordan De Goey right next to him again with a hamstring injury that's been confirmed. And Mitch Duncan with a medium-grade medial ligament out for the game.
Quick snap towards goal from the Pies from deep. It's a little bit skinny. So it's through from one behind off the boot of Phillips. Collingwood at 49, Geelong at 29. And the Pig Greenwood saving his bacon on the bench does.
Nice, Howie.
Good there, Howard.
Pretty happy with that too, aren't you, Howie? Slipped a little dad joke in there. Sure it's required in a big final.
You ought to get support.
Tui's kick down the line. Free kick's been picked out. Collingwood's way. Side bottom's got through. He'll kick this goal. The champ. Side bottom. Put your glasses down. Steele's got it. First goal of the second half goes the Magpies' way. And still side bottom kicks his first of the night. 8-7-55 Collingwood. 4-5-29 Geelong. Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard.
Big thing in AFL football now, when you give away a free kick, everyone needs to really switch on, because when teams get advantage and it's paid, it's just that dangerous. And that's what Steele Sidebottom did there. Not a huge free kick, just Scotty Pendlebury got held onto, but the Geelong players switched off for a split second. Steele Sidebottom picked the ball up, was able to charge straight at the goals and kick a pretty easy goal from 40 metres out, after Geelong had been able to apply a good amount of pressure leading up to that moment.
Chris Judd and Nathan Brown, who does tend to wander off sometimes in the third quarter. Haven't heard from him yet. Triple M Seabar Super special comments.
You talk about pressure there, Judge. The pressure rating 200 for Collingwood. They've been well over 200 and above most of the night. Geelong 172. They've turned up the Bunsen burners in this first 10 minutes.
The Bunsen burners, Nate? The old Year 11 chemistry.
Yes.
Tim Kelly, who would have been one of those blokes that threatened to blow up the lab at some stage, I would have thought. Pendlebury dives on the ground. Dishes out the side. Hand pass over Parfitt towards the running side bottom. He's got a right foot slider. Is perfect. Elliott made a bit of a meal at the end. He's had a good night. Buse mops up at half back. Can he find a target? Parfitt, nice little one-hander.
Took the mark really nicely. Right in front of Tommy Brown and the doc down there. They've been working overtime. The Bob Jane team arts. This is down the line. Radagalia! What a mark. Big pack mark. They need some inspiration, the Cats. Can Asava provide it? Pops it out to a dangerous position. 40 out from goal. Dangerfield from behind. Front and centre, Narkle to Atkins to Menengola. Snap for goal. Menengola gets the quick reply. And the Cats hang in there. 5-5-35. 8-7-55. 20-point game. Pies with the lead on the Simply Energy scoreboard.
It was a pretty bad mistake by Elliott at half forward. They had some momentum there, the Pies, and just misread the footy. Dropped the mark, went back the other way, and he's very, very good at that Menengola. He doesn't miss many goals when he snaps them across his body, as we see Darcy Moore with the cameras on him. Triple M Bosch Tools replay coming to the bench. I'm sure he's just getting down for a rest, but I don't think I've seen him come off yet, Darcy Moore.
Looks okay down there. Triple M Bosch Tools replay, looking at the mark, a bigger Sava. What a player he is. Good, better Bosch. Professional power tools, measuring tools and accessories.
Still one of the greatest things in our game, and one of the big measuring sticks is whether you can take a contested mark down the line. If you've got a side that kicks the ball long down the line and you've got somebody who can take a mark, break the game open like a Sava did then, you set up a goal for your side.
That's what you used to do, Darcy, in your heyday.
Yeah, no problems there, Howie.
McDonald's, Triple M, Rocks Footy. How'd you go in the contested noodles?
Darcy was more you sit behind the footy team.
Right, okay.
Is that right?
Who we got there on the Triple M Bosch Tools replay?
That's the new boss of Channel 7, James Warburton. Lewis Martin from Channel 7 Melbourne, Gillon McLaughlin, the AFL CEO. Big heavyweights here.
You had a chance to suck up for the new Bosch.
I did today, actually. The new boss.
You did.
Didn't get a lot of one-on-one time, it's fair to say. There's a few others in the front of the
You
queue.
and Duck and Brian and James were working away, were you?
Yes, good to catch up with the new big man.
House of Wellness, his main priority commercially this year.
He did mention that. He did say that there was one show in the network that was jumping out above the others. Johnny, funny you say that.
Who was putting their hand up the most for his attention?
Hamish was circling.
He's good at that, the hammer. Pendlebury gets the free kick, moves it wide to Main. He goes a step further to Phillips. How's he going on the Reds' edge, Chew?
18 touches, second most for Collingwood.
And covers ground as well, Chew. High ball, landing in the pocket. Elliott makes good position. Yeah, juggled, I reckon you're right, Ump. And it's across the line, 20 around from the Pies goal. They lead it by 20. Just having a look at Darcy Moore, having a chat with the doctor. He's not pointing at his hamstring, is he, Doc, down there, Bob Jane style?
No, they're looking at the inside of his left knee, so around that medial area. But look, he looks fine. The doctor didn't seem too upset.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Rowan.
He just trailed off, hasn't he?
He's that man at pastry.
I think we
Like
might
the end of Judge Cuddy tonight, that was.
maybe a little shot of adrenaline down there for Doc or some sort of upper. See if we can get him going. They hack the ball out to centre wing, southern stand side. It's a 20-point margin. So we look at the Triple M Bosch Tools replay screen here. See if we can pick up any sort of injury. Doesn't seem to be anything on offer there. Paddy Dangerfield just arguing his case. He's been great, the champ, sliding in Menegola. He's wrapped up by players thinking that might have been dragged under, but Ray Chambers said, no, give it to me. It'll be tossed up again. Slightly in attack on the outer wing are the Magpies. They lead it by 20 points.
Question without notice, boys. Have a think about the fact that you'd imagine DeGoey with a hamstring will miss either next week or the preliminary in 2 weeks for Collingwood, who'd come back into that side. We drove past the VFL tonight, Juddy, so have a think about that. And it's a good tackle by Adams. He's been outstanding tonight. Pendlebury works it close to the boundary line. We saw Ben Reid. We saw
Travis Varco for mine, Howard. I
Reid.
like Varco, particularly in big games in finals. He usually starts the game very well.
Ditto.
Both Geelong and Collingwood are out of the VFL, but they played a practice game tonight just to keep...
Was it a pracky match?
I believe so.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Had the look of a pracky match as we were driving by, Judge.
Some of the running speeds defensively of some of the players looked like it was more of a pracky game than your four-pointer.
Narkle goes short to Menegola. Out of side, very interesting stage of this game. 9.5 minutes until three-quarter time. It's only 20 points. Fair to say the Pies have been the side that's looked the winner from very early on in this game. Radaglia can't keep it in boundary throwing, but that 20-point margin isn't a buffer that will make Pies fans comfortable just yet. So the next goal, this next 8 or 9 minutes, Howie, big in this contest.
My word. Seeing a couple of people on the Triple M Bosch Tool replay, all face painted up in their Cats gear. Must be a wonderful experience coming to the footy with your face painted like that, I reckon. O'Connor battling away with Elliott. O'Connor keeps his feet, Elliott doesn't. Well done to Mark O'Connor. Mops up now. Cross to Stewart from half-back. Normally pretty good by foot. Sends it high down the line. Gazza, did he shove Maynard? Maynard's winning that battle tonight, I reckon, Brownie.
He is.
What's the possessions between Maynard and Little Gazza?
Yeah, Little Gazza, 6 possessions and scoreless. Maynard, twice as many. He's had 12 touches for Red's Head.
Okay. Chewy doing a fine job. Sees Collingwood leading by 20 points. Halfway through the third term. Game still in the balance, though. It got out to 36 points before the Pies gave up the last 3 goals of the first half. And Dangerfield was heavily involved in getting the Cats going again. Big tackle on the outer side. And Ray will have to separate the boys out of wing because they're just starting to get a bit tense and a bit pushy and a bit shovey out there.
Just for our Red's Head, so Geelong this year, when they've won the contested possession count, they've won 16 out of 16. At the moment, they're +1 up.
Blitzarves got over the top of Grundy on that occasion. There's a contested footy Speaking of that, two-man to be won again, and a lot of numbers pile in. Off the ball, free kick, Abbott's way. So Scotty Pendlebury's arguing the case, but I reckon it was a free kick against Maynard. And he's been in Abbott's face all night, Judd, man.
Yeah, he has. Howard called it correctly. Maynard's winning that battle over the little master at this stage.
Ablett got the long ball down the line. Myers picks it up. Tried a funny little dinky kick. Didn't quite connect with it now. Callum Brown's a good player. Squeezed the handball to side bottom. Checked his kick. That was magical. Found Hoskin Elliott. Creative play. Here comes Brown. Brown's handball misses the target. Hoskin Elliott goes back and wins it. Noble full chested at it came Selwood. Might have collected a bit of Noble's boot in the process.
You have to go slow here, the Pies. They've got two players behind the footy here. One's Henry, the other one's Stewart, and they just need to work their way through this. They bomb it long, the ball's going to come back with interest.
At your Triple M Seabus Super special comments, Seabus Super offering members insurance cover that protects building construction workers. Exactly what they do, Noodles.
Well, they need to get the ball over the top of that defensive line.
Can Pendlebury do that with a little slider inside 50? They can't because Henry's there. Doesn't take the mark on the second attempt. Elliott, dangerous by hand. Pies player ducks in possession. It was Adams who's been outstanding tonight. 40 out from Collingwood's goal. They're pushing, they're shoving, they're wrestling. And the umpire says, I'll just separate it. Thanks, lads.
Hold on, Simon. Blood rule, Joel.
Joel Selwood sounds like he could be coming off for the blood rule.
Got a blood rule.
So while we do that, Doc, just once again go over the injuries because they're big ones to big names.
Yes, certainly Jordan De Goey and Levi Greenwood, they're sitting with each other on the back of the bench, both out for the rest of the game. We know De Goey has a hamstring, and we know that Levi had a hamstring issue 6 weeks ago. My concern is he's got a recurrent hamstring as well. Mitch Duncan with a medial ligament and out for the rest of the game. He will be a few weeks with that as well.
2 down on the bench, Doc. You've got statistics about that typically.
I do. 2 down on the bench. All else being equal, it's very hard to win the game.
Dr. Owen White for Bob Jane too much. Tommy Brown alongside him, and Joel Selwood gets his regulation cut attended to. Side bottom on the edge of 50. Beautiful tackle. Henry got him. Half back. Big play for Jack Henry.
They've lifted here, the Cats, Duke, their energy levels, they're tackling much better. Since 20-minute mark of the second quarter, ground balls are 27 Geelong, 13 to Collingwood.
Here's Ablett out the back. Releases Kelly. Through half forward. One-on-one contest. Did pretty well, Chris. Blitzars cast in the roll of a rover. Back to Dalehouse. Tried it outside of the boot job. Didn't get it bending enough. And a minor score. 5-6-36. 8-7-55. That's your Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard. The Pies with the lead.
Simply Energy powering up the AFL. Tim Kelly, Chew, called his name typically as often as we do, or is that just me imagining it?
No, he's had 13 touches, averaging 25 this year.
Okay, so he's there or thereabout.
Yep.
Looks flat, Howard.
The crisper winds himself inside out, and in the end kicks it to Zach Tui, who kicked a ripping goal deep in the second term. Zach with the beard and the tats. Got a little podcast going as well, which he does a nice job on with Lockie Henderson. And he sends a high ball inside 50. Rowan arrives as to Radigalia. Gary Rowan stripped to the footy. Comes again, Gary. Gives it to Myers. Dish out a hand pass to Pendlebury in game 300. Brown to Adams.
Adams kick out of defence under pressure. O'Connor trying to hold up the wall here for the Cats. Wrapped up by Thomas. Wrapped up by Treloar. And inside the centre square, umpire is going to throw this one up. In attack still, though, are the Cats. They trail by 19 points. Brown wrapped up in a perfect tackle. Red hot footy around the contest at the moment. 5:37 the clock says until three-quarter time. There's a 19-point lead to the Magpies.
Pies then left out Adam Treloar. Very good first half, but only 2 disposals in the last 34 minutes of footy.
Pendlebury in game 300, Chew.
20 touches.
Make it 21 now, and more precision delivery. Puts it out in front of a man on the wing. Comes back, picks it up nicely. In the end has to kick around the corner in an unlikely fashion. That is Treloar. Kolajasny drops a mark. He should have taken. Now he's got a problem because Adams arrives on the scene. Stevenson always dangerous inside 50. Another tackle applied, and the Cats give up a defensive inside 50. They should have cleared it, but in the end, Collingwood will have an opportunity. 45 out.
Good umpiring there. No free kick. The umpire picked it up. Here's Pendlebury with a little bit of space. He doesn't need much to slice you right open, and the champ. Game 300, Scotty Pendlebury, well done. Superb, sublime, one of the greats of the game. And that is a big goal. 9-7-61 Collingwood, 5-6-36 Geelong. Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard.
It was amazing, Duke. It was a great finish. 92% by foot Pendlebury on the Red Z Lendings. But when you go into this game and you've got a makeshift ruckman in Mark Blixars and you are the best ruckman in the competition in Brodie Grundy, you're expected to dominate. You're expected to do exactly what Brodie Grundy's done tonight. And that tap out again at the 50-metre line just gave it to Stevenson. It was down his throat. Stevenson, quick handball out to the run of Pendlebury, who finished well. But Brodie Grundy has done everything he's been asked to do tonight, dominated, and they've just kicked another goal directly from his stoppage work. And how many's that tonight, Ash?
That's 5 majors to Geelong's only 1.
The Maccas Triple M rocks footy. Back out to a 25-point margin. Geelong need Dangerfield from the centre. He takes it on, goes a short little slow ball. Thought he was going to have a shot. Dalhouse, he's had a few snaps. Doesn't make full contact. Maynard, how well's he playing? Doing beautifully, and this is a chance to transition off half-back. Wonderful kick to find side bottom. He's been very good tonight, Maynard. And then he finds Wills.
Got all the answers, the Magpies. Maynard, again, ball in hand. He has had a really good night, although as we say that, he just pops it out of bounds on the full. Miss Treloar. So the Cats can reload. Next goal, massive. The Cats, you feel, just simply have to kick the next one, Brownie.
Yeah, they do. If it gets out again to a 5-goal margin, you'd start to think Collingwood then just start to put the brakes on this game, and it makes it very hard.
Trying to work it now, back around through Colajasny. Selwood's back out there. Short one's okay to Stewart. What's Tom Hawkins' numbers, please, true man?
Yeah, 8 possessions, 3 marks and 3 behind stars.
Yeah, really need to get some footy in his hands quickly, don't they? Out wide, they look for Dangerfield. Pendlebury closes in, and a boundary throw in on the southern stand wing side. 9-7-61, 5-6-36. It's the Magpie with 3:57 until three-quarter time.
25-point margin. Crowd chew. She's a 90-plusser.
Yeah, 93,000, I reckon, Howie.
Okay, yeah, good numbers for Red Z. Big crowd in attendance. Grundy grabs it out of the ruck, looks for Treloar. Nate said he needs to get going. He's got a chance here, but Radaglia picks his pocket to Dangerfield, back to Asava. Ooh, wobbles it right down the line to Howe, who makes the simple even look beautiful. Jeremy Howe marks on the chest with panache and grace and goes short.
Finds side bottom, just covering the ground magnificently, coming back from that nasty ruptured testicle. Didn't sound like a lot of fun, that, Howie.
No, typically nasty, that one, Das, I would have thought. I liked his description of how they fixed him up, though.
Down the line to O'Connor, boundary thrown.
How did they that?
Well, he described as being some gauze applied and cupped around and giving him some support, Das.
Okay.
Which
I believe he's wearing 2 pairs of jocks out there tonight too, Howie.
Is he? Right. Well, that'll help. Kelly trying to extract it, but can't get anywhere. The umpire will separate them.
You enjoyed that description, did you?
I just enjoyed reading the way he described it, Nate. I thought it was very
found that interesting.
Good choice
You like
of word.
men talking about that sort of thing, Howard?
Well, each to their own, Judge. McDonald's, they'll be happy to be associated with those comments. Triple M rocks footy.
See why people are trying to hack his account.
Howe does well. Jeremy Howe. Short little slider. Doesn't get great distance. Well done by Myercheck. Here's an opportunity for Adams. Can he find a target? It's Callum Brown too far out to score, Nate, so we look for a target.
Yeah, he can't get the distance there. He's looking around, darting everywhere, but Geelong have got back in a lot of numbers.
52. Elliott's deep, wants the big bomb for the hanger. He's found a little short one, and it's good.
Well done.
Lax defence, though. Adams has played on from Parfitt. He's kicked 2. Run himself into trouble. Didn't really think he's through that, but he has been fantastic tonight. Oh, Colajasny stripped of the footy. Elliott tries to get around Gazza, not an easy task. And it's across the line, on the half-forward line, for the Pies out of side.
Taylor Adams just wondering how that wasn't holding the ball, and I tend to agree with him, Noodles Brown.
Have a look at the Triple M Bosch Tools replay here, Judge. And it looked like holding the ball to me. Picked the footy up, went to kick it. Didn't hit the foot, normally holding the ball.
25-point margin, Magpies. A couple of minutes remaining until three-quarter time. Kelly from half-backs coughed up the handball to Stevenson. It is really critical now for Geelong. Radaglia did well. Intercepted the handball. O'Connor just recklessly kicked it down the line. Hawkins double team. Darcy Moore got hit by Selwood as he kicked it. Affected the ball. Grundy sliding. Couldn't keep it in.
You need to see the Triple M Bosch Tools replay there, but Nate was basically arguing that Taylor Adams was appealing to the umpire that he himself should have got done for holding the ball.
No.
Yes, he was.
No.
Yes, he was.
There were 2 bits of play on the Triple M Bosch Tools replay.
But that's the one we were looking at, Judge.
You missed that one, Howard.
No, I didn't think I missed that. I think
It's good use the Triple M Bosch Tools replay. Good bit of Bosch.
Professional power tools, measuring tools and accessories, Noodles. Ball not going anywhere on the outer wing.
You don't seem like a power tool sort of guy, Howard.
No,
you wouldn't understand.
No, I'm not a power tools man. I've got nothing in that. But we don't own a power tool at my place.
Grundy and Radagalia. Now Ablett. Well done. Still side bottom. Smothered off the boot of Ablett. Ricochet back to Ablett. Tried to pop the kick down the grind. Myers slides in. And on the southern stand wing side, boundary thrown, please, Two-Man.
Yeah, Collingwood, they average 60 tackles for an entire game. They've already racked up 67, and we haven't even hit three-quarter time. They've had 70 more disposals than Geelong.
What's your power tool of choice, Jamie Jury?
Normally go with the angle grinder.
Yeah. High free kick. And the Cats elected to take the advantage, but the umpire says, hang on. It's going against Dangerfield. It's going the way of the young man Noble on his first final. Chewy, how's he going?
Yeah, 15 disposals. Howie has been averaging 19.
Just looks comfortable, Judge, doesn't he, that man?
He does. He's been bold with the ball. He's turned 1 or 2 over, but I think he's been brilliant all in all.
Sends a little ball down the line.
Holding! Harry Taylor!
Harry Taylor will get a free kick in that contest. So we've got a minute 15 to go. It's a 25-point margin. Geez, Geelong would love to snag a late one without stating the extremely obvious.
It's just been a lot of spark for the Cats tonight. It's really hard to see where they kicked 3 in a row late in the second quarter, but right now they haven't got real clear winners. Can they manufacture a goal here? Dalehouse on the edge of 50. Been really impressed with Maynard. He's blanketed Ablett. He's been really strong. Side bottom, kicking from half back to centre wing. Front and centre pickup was by Wills, and he was immediately tackled in a strong tackle.
They're going to need at least 5 goals to win. They've only kicked 5 goals tonight, so to win this game, 5 goals, that's not even counting Collingwood even kicking 1 or 2. So from this point, you'd have to think the Cats would have to kick at least 6 or 7 to win this game.
Just saw a shot of the covers off. And then Manchester on the Triple M Bosch Tools replay screen. Early lunch taken, no play this morning. Narkle tries to get his way into the contest, but Adams gets yet another possession, sends it forward to Stewart, hits it like a bull at a gate to Dangerfield. Rare fumble for the champ. Can he get out of it? He can, but his hand pass misses Atkins. Not the best piece of play we've seen all night, with Collingwood in defence on the outer side, leading by 25 points. We've got 16 seconds till the final break, Luke Darcy.
25-point margin. And the Cats, as Brownie just pointed out, it is a big mountain to climb in this last quarter. Can they get one late here? Kelly tumbles one inside 50. Hawkins can't get access to the footy. They really have worked him over. And the three-quarter time siren sounds. 9-7-61 Collingwood, 5-6-36 Geelong. Tommy Brown, Dr. Rowan White will give you the injury updates. No Jordan De Goey, no Mitch Duncan for the rest of the game. There's been some dramas as well. But Dr. Rowan White will tell you the full amount back as we come back from the three-quarter time break. More from Howie, more from Brownie, the True Man and Chris Judd. 25 points at three-quarter time. It's all the Magpies as thanks to Macca's, Triple M Rocks finals footy.
The Pies have won every quarter. They led by 18 at quarter time, 19 at the half after leading by 36 points halfway through that second term. Out to 25 points at three-quarter time. Geelong have only kicked 5. They need that and plenty more. 5-6-36 to the Pies, 9-7-61 on the Triple M Beaumont Tiles scoreboard. Expertly designed bathroom packages you can change to suit you from $3,000. Choose Beaumont. Some big injury news. Bob Jane T-Marts has a month of big deals on big brands such as Bridgestone, Hankook and BF Goodrich. And Brandy and the Doc have been all over, and it's not good news for several players, men.
No, it's not. It's going to be hard to...
That was the Bob Jane boys with injuries. Thanks, Judge.
Sorry, Herb.
No, that's all right. You down there, Brownie?
Yeah, we're down here.
Sorry,
don't look like Juddy, but I wouldn't mind his couple of medals. But in terms of Collingwood, Jordan De Goey and Levi Greenwood just consoling with each other. They're keeping their spirits up. Scott Pendlebury's been sort of consoling them. You guys could relate to that, Darce and Brownie and Juddy, sort of looking on to a final and knowing that you might be out for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. It'll be a difficult situation. But Joel Selwood's the latest one, Doc, for Geelong. He's back out in the huddle, but he went down with the doctor at one stage.
Yeah, most of the half-time break he was down with the doc. I think he's had a bad laceration just above his right eye. He's got a nasty cut there, and I think that was attended to because I think it was interfering with his vision. Of course, for Geelong, Mitch Duncan also out with that medial ligament injury that's been confirmed by the club. So bad news for both clubs at this point in time. 2 players down for Collingwood, 1 player down for Geelong.
Alrighty, Triple M C Bus Super Special comments. Now you can fire away, Judge.
Well, I think now for Chris Scott and his men, you're better off losing by 8 or 9 goals and giving yourself a chance to win than not giving yourself the opportunity. So they need to just play on at all costs. They even need to leave the contest early at some time in the middle of the ground, see if they can get a loose number in front of the ball, a la what Richmond do and what Hawthorn were doing later towards the end of the season. But they need to be bold if they're going to give themselves any chance, because as Noodles Brown called, they've only kicked 5 goals from the game. They're probably going to have to kick at least 7 if they're going to win this game.
The Monopoly game at Macca's is back and bigger than ever. Visit maccasplay.com.au for full terms. Here's the guru on a Friday night, the skipper of the team, Luke Darcy.
25-point margin it is. The Magpies commanding lead. Can the Cats mount a challenge here? We're underway. Perfect bounce. Radaglia over the top. Followed up his work pretty nicely. Dalhouse has tried hard, but he's wrapped up. And they advance it to centre forward. There is Ray Chamberlain. You can hear him mic'd up exclusively with Triple M, enjoying his work out there. Adams' kick gets back to the centre. Tom Stewart flicks a handball in the Tui direction. Runs over the AFL logo, members wing side, pops it down the line. Oh, good mark. Darcy Moore, who's got through without issue tonight. Good mark at half-back.
Geez, he'd love a couple of weeks off going into a prelim after what he's done.
Yeah.
Incited him a lot, Darcy. What he's done really nicely, hasn't he?
Yep.
Mark dropped by Stewart on the wing. Treloar, quick hand pass. Dished off towards Phillips. Sends a high ball forward. Stevenson's outnumbered, outsized and outgunned in that one. Gee, that's a hurried old kick from O'Connor. Just high up the chimney job. Myers at ground level.
High contact, Collingwood.
And it's going the way of the number 24, Joshy Thomas, centre wing.
Not a lot of margin for error here in this last quarter for the Cats. As I said, the margin is 25 points.
Move it on,
Just
please,
have
Josh.
to get everything right. Can they find a spark? Instead, it's Thomas who sends the Cats to half forward. Penderbury wrapped up by Dangerfield. Did he have possession of the ball? Umpire is going to throw this one up.
Geelong don't want to. Collingwood don't want to get in the situation where they feel like they've got to save the game from here, Duke. But at the same time, they don't need to take unnecessary risk.
Grundy sends a ball forward. That's a good mark taken by Stewart, who's been one of Geelong's best players tonight. How many intercepts has he taken, Chewy?
Intercept marks, Tom Stewart has taken 6 along with his 20 touches.
Pretty sharp numbers, aren't they? And he spreads it wide to space for the Cats.
O'Connor has it. Just feel, Brandon, they've got to get bold with their ball movement. The Cats starting in this last quarter.
Got to take some chances, Duke. Got to get the ball into the middle of the ground in dangerous positions, because the Pies set up so well defensively, and their pressure rating at the moment is huge.
Menengola got a good front and centre now. Some overlap run from Kelly. Runs to half forward. Left foot kick inside forward. 50 Radaglia. Grundy playing in the ruck at the moment. Radaglia getting back. Ablett's found the going tough tonight. Picked up. Snap round the body from Parfitt. He had Joel Selwood in the middle out on his own, and Joel Selwood puts the arms out and says, Brandon, what about me? As he kicked it out of bounds on the full.
So the Pies from defence just trying to take a bit of time out of the game here. They lead it by 25 points. Figure they get the next. He's almost done for the Cats. So the loser of this game, Chew, plays.
The loser of this game will play the West Coast Eagles at the MCG.
And we think that'll be Friday night, Chewy.
Yep.
And then the winner goes through to a preliminary final. And who do they meet on the other side, Chewy? We'll give you a minute to figure that out. The potential possibilities there for the winner of this game. Thomas takes on a tackler. Clever little hand pass to Callum Brown, who's had a nice season. He's not getting out of Selwood's tackle.
Duke, to do what you were talking about and take the game on out there, they're going to have to change the way they've been playing and play on more. So far tonight, the Pies have played on 1 of every 4. The Cats have gone 1 of every 10.
Oh, good stat, Needles.
That is one of the stats of the year, Nate Brown. In the big final.
Like
Smug sort of noise he made afterwards too, wasn't it?
A bit disconcerting, to be honest.
How do those finals back up, Chewy?
Yeah, so the winner of tonight's prelim, they will play either GWS Bulldogs or Brisbane Richmond, that group. I'll come back to the loser in a moment.
Okay. Play to resume apparently in Manchester in half an hour's time. Ablett by hand to Myers. Can they get something here, the Cats? Atkins, Menengola hits 50, only just the distance. Umpire says it's not. Whether it bounced or it wasn't. Either way, it's play on. Dowhouse to Kelly. Wants to snap towards goal on his right. It's going to bounce. Moore's there, safe in defence. He's
Brilliant.
been good, Darcy Moore. He's been really good. In fact, as Noodle said, that was brilliant. Sorry, Chew, go on.
Yeah, so the loser, assuming they defeat the West Coast Eagles in the semi-final next week, but it's tough in the prelim the following week because it'll either be against Brisbane up at the Gabba or Richmond at the MCG.
Wow.
Cats can't beat West Coast playing like this.
This is Jamie Elliott now along the wing. Will Hoskin. Elliott finds a little bit of space and massages a nice ball to Thomas. Just found their forward movement looks so much more dangerous. Collingwood short one to Pendlebury. Game's 300, two-man.
Yeah, 23 touches, 92% by foot, Das.
The champ's been at his all-time best tonight. Look at that kick to Stevenson. It was like a laser. There was no margin at all for error, and he picked the gap brilliantly.
And all you blokes took Buckley, eh? Look at you now.
Scotty Pendlebury, genius it was.
From up here, Duke, it looks like there's a lot of space, doesn't it? When you've got a bird's eye view and you can see everything from up above, but when you're down on the ground, to be able to find the holes inside the forward 50 that he does, it's one of the reasons why he's a marvel.
This man missed the last 10 games due to a gambling controversy. Won the Rising Star last year. Jaden Stevenson, welcome back to the big time. This will be a massive moment in the game. Didn't get the distance in the end. Really shinned it. Now the defence of the Cats, Menengola, they're having to work hard. Myers under pressure. That kick was going to be out. He found Tom Atkins.
Did well in the end there, Myers. Atkins, centre half back. His team trail by 25 points. No goals this term. What's Gary Rowan up to? Is he holding a hamstring as well, Bob Jane?
Yeah, Gary Rowan was holding his right hamstring. Roy, what did you make of that?
Yeah, his knees heavily strapped, but he was pointing to the lower hamstring, straight down the rooms with the doc and the physio.
So, due to the fact he's holding his hamstring, Doc thinks he might have an issue with the hamstring. Nicely figured out by the boys down there. Now, Dalhouse dodges, weaves, gives it to Narkle, centre wing. Being quiet, Chewy, and that's a horrible little kick forward out of bounds.
There's only 10 touches for Narkle for Red Z.
Doc, Bob Jane.
An update on Greenwood, Doc.
Yeah, Levi, the club's announced he's got a knee injury. Looked properly on that left side. Knee injury, not sure the nature, but obviously out for the rest of the game.
Okay, so 25-point lead of the Magpies. Jordan Ngoe, we are very fearful that he may not take any further part in the year with a hamstring. It's going to be a tough road back, and the injury to Greenwood. Here come the Cats. O'Connor to the goal square. Can they get a mark? Darcy Moore, 2-on-1, outmark Ratugolea. He's been superb, as Brownie and Juddy said a moment ago.
Just getting better and better, isn't he, too, as the game goes on.
Ash has just sent me a great Red Z lending stat. Only 3 times from his past 152 games has Scott Pendlebury had less than 20 disposals.
Wow. Who's doing the votes tonight?
I've got votes tonight, Howard.
Is he in the mix at the moment?
I don't reveal that at this stage of the game.
Doesn't really make for good radio, Judge, but anyway.
My integrity can't be questioned like that, Howard.
Says Mr. Vizzy. As the ball's floating across half back for the Pies. My integrity can't be questioned.
Talk to Duke if you want early releases or crappy votes and important awards. Come to me.
25-point margin in favour of the Magpies. Picked up by Phillips at half-back. And that kick has been marked by Jack Henry on centre wing. They've just got to get going here, the Cats. Got to get a goal. Can they find something? Another long kick down the line. Big pack. Hard one to mark. Darcy Moore is putting on a clinic at the moment. How easy did he do that?
About 4 intercept marks this quarter, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. 6 for the game, Juddy.
What game times he played, Chew?
For Red Z lending, Darcy Moore has played 81% game time.
So they haven't nursed him at all. With confidence in the hamstring. And there's Wills. He's wrapped up on the defensive flank. His team lead it by 25 points. Righto, Nate, what can they do? They've got 13 minutes to kick the next 5 goals of this match.
Well, they've just got to take chances now, Howard, because they're out of this game. Collingwood are going to close it down. But, look, like Judge said at three-quarter time, they may as well lose by 8 goals, but have a real crack at trying to get there, because if they do take a little bit off through the middle and maybe create a couple of goals, you watch this place erupt.
That's it. Gary Rowan, Doc, Bob Jane.
Gary Rowan back on the bench, Howie, and still in discussion with the Doc, so we'll just keep a close eye on it.
It's always one of Melbourne's best.
Obviously a funny hamstring that Gary Rowan's dealing with at the moment down there. Monaco pushed off the footy. Geelong had it in their attacking half for much of the quarter, but there has not been a score as yet. There's players diving in everywhere. To Phillips to just send the ball forward in a hurry. Big contest right in front of Doc. Treloar says, get me onto the ground. Harry Taylor says, get me off the ground. And that's exactly what happened. So it's Geelong 5-6-36, Collingwood 9-7-61. Not a score this term, and we've already taken 9.5 minutes out of it.
Grundy in front with his massive frame. Interesting call, wasn't it? No Reece Stanley, the late exclusion. Sam Menegola comes in with a little bit of reflection. Juddy, would you have your time again and maybe play the ruckman?
No, look, to be fair, I would have gone with the same call, Duke. I don't think it's really worked. I think Grundy's been terrific, but I don't know if Stanley would have had a much bigger impact in the ruck than what Blixars has.
What are the hit-outs to advantage, Ash? Because we knew he was going to dominate, but probably not to the extent where they've got so much score from it.
He's had 12 hit-outs to advantage, Grundy, to Geelong's team total of 5.
This might make that 13 after that. He got it down to Rupert Wills, was immediately set upon by Selwood. Centre wing, AFL logo, members side. Thrown up ball, 25-point lead to the Magpies. They've got 1 foot in a prelim final, Howard.
Chris Scott looking a bit concerned on the Triple M Bosch Tools replay. Good, better Bosch, professional power tools, measuring tools and accessories. Again, they go forward, the Cats. Again, the Pies have got the numbers. Here's the crisper. What a player he's been for this club. Gets it off towards Thomas. Marks on the wing. The hard-running Phillips wants the 1-2. Thomas says, no, steady on. I've got it on the wing and I'm happy to take time out of the game.
So it looks short now, does Thomas, to Treloar. Started the game with a flurry of possessions. He dried up a bit since half-time.
He has. He had 17 in the first half, only 6 in the second. This is 24 coming up.
In the Myercheck direction, third man up was Kolajasny. Narkle ran into a strong tackle. Wills is a hard unit. He smashes into the contest. Kelly popped a little handball over the top. Noble edged off the ball. Back came Kelly. Back came Noble. Won the ball to Treloar. Ricocheted to Ratagalia. He got it out. And it's kicked down the line. That was by Jed Buse. Main fights hard back there. Noble's worked really, really hard to get back and win the footy. Worked the little 1-2. The little man. And what a great story. Johnny Noble, 4th game in a big final, playing his role very nicely.
Side bottom. Little sneaky ball to the outer side.
Keeps his spot, I reckon, Noble, Duke.
Yep, hard to fault his performance. What a story. Mid-season pickup, playing in West Adelaide. Got some serious pace, and he's going to play the next game. Don't worry about that, John Noble.
Will's another one, Duke. Only had the 12 disposals, but he's had 12 tackles and he's been super hard all night. Impressed also.
So you feel if Degoe's out that Varco comes into the side. Hopefully Greenwood's able to get up. As the ball's punched in 50 for the Cats. Howe with a big fist away. Spills to Buse, an unlikely goal kicker on the left. And that's exactly what happens. In the end, he sneaks it through for a behind. So Collingwood are 61, Geelong are 36. Mitch Duncan with that medial, Nate. And Juddy, when you get a moment to think about who could come in if Mitch is not able to get up potentially next weekend.
Pendlebury slides his kick down the line to Elliott. Started with a couple of goals in the first quarter. Jamie Elliott, now Will Hoskin Elliott. They've combined a bit tonight. Centering ball is okay to Crisp. As Two-Man pointed out before, the only current AFL player with a 100-plus consecutive game streak going at the moment, Jack Crisp, is in the 120s. Down line, Myercheck. Smash from the side. Kolajasny play on. Good call from the umpire. Myercheck a bit slow to get up. Bouncing around in defence. Narkle's handball. Put it out to Dalehouse. Wrapped up by Phillips. Good tackle from Phillips. Trapping the ball inside. Forward 50 for the Magpies. Still no score in the last quarter. We've played 13 minutes and the Magpies still lead it by 25 points.
Stanley for me against West Coast. I'd bring in Howie, obviously with Nat Newey, Hickey and the tall forwards they've got. They'll need Blixars back in defence.
And that's your Triple M Seabus Super special comments from Juddy and Noodles. Seabus Super offering members insurance cover that protects building and construction workers. Still no score in the major goal sense. Only one behind for Geelong for the term. And the ball stymied in the middle of the MCG. And the Pies have taken 13-40 out of the quarter. And they still trail it by 4 straight goals. Chewy.
And Howie, they've laid 85 tackles, which is a season high. Geelong only 66. Their pressure rating, as Brownie has been speaking about all night, 210. AFL average 182.
Red Z Lending loan specialist for the self-employed.
Crashing at it was Atkins. Good handball from Ablett to Kelly. Oh, the diving smother. Jeremy Howe. Brilliant stuff. That's the stuff that wins you a prelim final. Will get you into one at least anyway. Jeremy Howe's been brilliant. Dangerfield back in, picked it up, immediately set upon by Pendlebury. Two champs will get ahead a bit tonight. Play on, says Ray, and eventually he says, give it to me. And they get around Jeremy Howe, his teammates. Spectacular effort. Look at this, Brown, the triple Bosch Tools replay.
Just full Superman style, arms in the air, airborne, lateral, bang.
Nice vocab there from Noodles Brown. Now the Cats, they're pushed and they're pushed. They haven't been able to hit the board in a major way. Tui with just a high float. It'll be a shallow entry inside 50. Howe marks, but there's a hold off the ball. It's going against the young unit, Johnny Noble. And eventually Geelong will get this shot for goal they've been working for in the hands of Luke Dalhouse from about 30 out on a 45-degree angle, and this simply must go through the middle.
Yeah, he's not happy about it, Noble, but the free kick was definitely there. He just took his eyes off the ball and looked at Dalhouse and wrapped him up in the marking contest. So good call there by the umps.
Dalhouse to kick the Cats' 6th goal. Gee, they need it. Oh, he slid it right across the face, never gave it a chance. And in the end, it's touched across the line. So the only positive is Geelong keep it in attack. They still trail by 4 goals, and now there's only, all of a sudden, with a low-scoring term, only 7.5 minutes to go, Das.
Hasn't ever been his strong suit, kicking for goal. Luke Dalhouse, great tackler, great competitor. Averaged over 20 possessions in his first year at Geelong, but they really needed that one. Dangerfield, he's going to try and just find a way out of nothing. Danger snaps, got through the contest, bending it back. Oh, the champ did it when no one else could. Paddy Dangerfield keeps the flame alive. Back to an 18-point margin. 7:30 remaining in this game. Triple M. Beaumont Tile scoreboard. Nate Brown.
Freakish goal, Duke. Absolutely freakish goal. There's probably only a handful of players in the whole comp that can do that, and there's probably 3 of them playing out here in this game tonight. You'd hope that your teammates now lift. There's still probably 8 minutes to go of playing time. 3-goal margin right now. You'd hope that your players see what that inspirational thing did then, and you're able to copy it.
When you're the best player in the comp for 10 games, you
regularly.
It's telling the amount of energy after that goal, though, Duke, on a serious note.
Yeah,
it's a brilliant goal. They're only 3 goals down. There is plenty of time. There was very little celebration or energy, or not a heap of teammates got around him, and that probably tells the story more than anything.
McDonald's, Triple M, rocks footy regularly, says our man Noodles. Now they go. Selwood to Gaza. Gets through 1 tackle, gets through 2. Back to Danger, the big names. Can they lift the Cats? Out to Zach Tui. Got it on the wing. A goal in this entry will really light the crowd up. They go deep. Darcy Moore. Take a bow. He's played one of the great second halves. And Darcy Moore takes intercept mark number what, Chewy?
Number 7, and in this quarter alone, 4.
And I was really concerned about Darcy Moore coming into this game with a hamstring, and you thought, is it going to stand up? But as he stood up, College has, he's taken a good mark. Cats have got a bit of a head of steam up at the moment. Can they jag another one? They've kicked it down the line. Darcy Moore again got first hand on it. Spills to ground level, pick up down there from Howe. And he's tumbled it out of bounds on the full.
Wait. Back here, please.
So it's Zach Tui who's got the free kick. He's a penetrating kick, Zach Tui. This would be about a 60-metre job. Almost every player on the ground inside defensive 50, so he centres it up from the side. Pendlebury, juggled attempt, couldn't quite get it. Beautiful pick up from Atkins, wrapped up in a tackle. In there is Stevenson. Darcy Moore again, back to Howe, who clears it outside defensive 50.
Might come back in a hurry though. A good spoil by the Pies out there on O'Connor. Back to Selwood. Now Buse. Jamie Elliott arrives late on the scene. Heath Shaw, Nick Rewald style in a grand final. Affected a spoil from nowhere. And they're just being more desperate at the moment. The Pies. Dangerfield, not sure how he got rid of that one. They're still pushing the Cats. Still they come.
Oh, it's been intercepted though by Callum Brown. He gets the wheels turning. Good handball outside. It was an intelligent play. Now side bottom. All the poise, all the time, all the experience, still side bottom. He just paused on the wing. Went short to Treloar. And then this is smart play. The Magpies clock down to 5:51 remaining. Side bottom's got it back again. 70 metres out. Wedges a kick back to Chris Mayne back on centre wing and prepared to take some heat out of it. It's just an 18-point margin. Pies playing the possession game at the moment. 5:53 remaining in this game. They've gone all the way across the ground in front of Tommy Brown on the dock, and Thomas has got it for the Magpies.
They're short again. Doesn't look like the Cats have got the energy of only a 3-goal margin with 5.5 minutes to go, Judge.
No, it doesn't even now. It's taken them a long time to really get one-on-one and force this ball to a contest. Collingwood just chipping the ball around at will, and they would have trained for this, both teams. Geelong should be able to close this loose player down much sooner than they have.
So they've taken a minute out of the clock here, the Pies.
They can go back all the way around the other way again, Collingwood, if they want here.
Look like they're happy to sit on a 3-goal lead. It's under 5 minutes now, but Geelong just seem devoid of answers. Now Stevenson's got it, and he's taking more valuable seconds out of the clock. Called Deco now on the centre wing. Just kicks a high ball. It'll land about 50 from home. Mai checks the target. Now Geelong need to move the ball in a hurry. They go to Tui. Now Stewart. He goes short to the big Hawk, who's way back at full back at the moment.
What's he had 2 men on the night, please?
It's only marked number 4 along with 8 possessions and 3 behinds.
Might have thrown him into the ruck here, Tom Hawkins, alongside Grundy. Kick through the centre corridor. Selwood couldn't complete the mark. Maynard's played his role really well for the side, out wide. This is Phillips. Centering kick, Dangerfield supreme. Intercepted it from Treloar. He looks through the corridor, then decides the standing Torp's the way to go, and he's hit Blitzarv's lace out. Graham Myers out the back. Handball from Blitzarv's to Ablett. Ablett pops it down the line. Myers with a one-on-one contest. Myers couldn't quite jag it in. Parford picked it up. Can he spin around and get a goal? Going to take something special. Centering kick to the goal square. Ratugolea, bouncing ball at ground level. Picked up. And it's Crisp who got through only as far as Kelly, who's taken a mark within range, Nate Brown.
It was just scramble footy, wasn't it? It was desperate type of stuff, but it pays to go with a big opportunity down the middle. Dangerfield didn't know what was going to happen, but he just let the chips fall where they may, torpedo into the middle of the ground, and something happened. That's what they need at this stage of the game.
Well, this is the kick to stay in the game. The clock's ticking down, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Tim Kelly, to make it a 2-goal game, has to kick this goal right now from the edge of 50. Bending, and he's got it through, Tim Kelly. Back-to-back goals, the Cats, only 2 goals in the last quarter. She's a 12-point ball game. The 6-6 rule comes into play, just under 3 minutes remaining.
Well, you've got to say it's game on, Nate Brown, don't you? I think Lee Matthews has the rule. If the number of goals required is the same or less than the number of minutes left in the game, you're still in it, Duke. So, by his definition, the Cats are still in it.
Let's leave that one to lethal, I think.
It was George Bush-like, wasn't it?
Triple M Beaumont Tile scoreboard, expertly designed bathroom packages you can change to suit you from $3,000. Choose Beaumont. So she's a 12-point margin, and there's 2:55 on the clock.
They've just got their best players in there. Dangerfield in the middle. They've got Selwood in the middle, and also Tim Kelly.
Well, for the Cats, this is their biggest centre bounce clearance attempt of the season. Grundy's dominated in the ruck. Dangerfield, who else? Picks it up, hits 45. It's a long, deep ball from Dangerfield. Hawkins spills the mark. Oh, gee, there was a scramble in the goal square. And it got punched through from behind. One could say a handy point dust.
How good Dangerfield there, Howie. The pick-up and kick was just ridiculous. And now Jeremy Howe, precious seconds tick off the clock, 2:39 remaining. 11-point ball game from nowhere. Can they get it back inside 50? Elliott's been good, and that's a big pack mark from the little man. And he puts his hand up, says, let's take as much time as we possibly can. Goes short. Finds Myercheck, still at half-back the ball. 2:16, make it 2:15. Clock still ticking. Sends this one long down the southern stand side wing.
They're very prepared to take time out of the game, the Pies. Gee, if it came to burn them now, it'd really hurt Elliott. He thought he had the mark. You heard the umpire say play on. Contested ball out of wing. Adams starting the game and finishing it in the same style. That's fantastically well. But he's done here for holding the ball. So the Cats, they got 1:49 on the clock. The ball's on the outer wing. They're in possession. And they trail by 11 points.
Menegola came up with the big play. There's numbers through the middle of the ground. He's got to use them, Menegola. Pumps a long one down the line. Radicale is their hope. Can he take a contested mark through his hands? Harry Taylor almost threw it to Ablett. Ablett stands up in the tackle, coughed up the handball. Brody Grundy was really strong. And side bottom out to Wills. Minute 22 left in the game.
Gazzard just holding an elbow, and Wills taking time off the clock. Mark can't be taken on the outer side. Side bottom in possession, still trying to wind it down. Main looks to the boundary line, and abuser scorch him there. 1:07 on the clock. So now it is getting really tight for the Cats. They've got to get a clearance from this throw in centre wing and hit the board in a major way. They try by 11 points.
So Collingwood just begun to Dangerfield at the moment. He looks the man most likely.
Strength of Grundy. Selwood had a rare fumble. He was eyeing off where he was going to kick it. Didn't quite take clean possession. Well, sitting on top of the footy there, a Collingwood player hasn't tried that hard to get it out. Ray's letting it go for an eternity. And now Ray's called one. And I reckon he got it right. Selwood dumps it long. Can they get a mark? Radicale out the back. Hawkins picks it up. Snaps it at goal and misses. 40 seconds left. 10-point ball game. Pies with the lead. 61-51. Triple M Beaumont Tile scoreboard.
They need a mark and it's game over, and they've got it. How to mark in the back pocket. That snap from Hawkins would have left them needing a goal with 38 seconds on the clock. It wasn't to be. Collingwood fans starting to celebrate. Tui flies, looks towards the boundary line, and that's where it goes. Let's have a listen to the Collingwood Army.
$93,436 in the house. And have a listen to the celebration. The Magpies are going to go through. Remarkable win. They've been extraordinary. Dangerfield still fighting hard. Coming 3 men in goal are picked up by Atkins. Kick towards the goal square. There's the siren. A famous Collingwood victory. They win and go straight through to the prelim final. Scotty Pendlebury's 300th game. And they have come up with a massive win. 9-7-61, 7-9-51. It's the Magpies by 10 points in front of 93,000 at the MCG.
Pies by 18 at quarter time, 19 at the half, 25 at the three-quarter time break. In the end, Collingwood 9-7-61, Geelong 7-9-51. Collingwood win the most one-sided 10-point game I think I've ever seen. They hold on the Pies, they get a week off, whereas Geelong will take on the West Coast Eagles most likely next Friday night at the MCG here. But the Pies, they get a week off. Injury concerns though. DeGoey with a hamstring, didn't see him in the second half. Greenwood with a potential leg issue, didn't see much of him in the second half. And Mitch Duncan will be the injury concern for the Cats with a medial on the knee. Didn't see much of him in the second half either. Joel Selwood cut up. Blood coming everywhere as you expect from the champ, as we see Mitch Duncan limping already in a knee brace on the Triple M Bosch Tool replay screen. Scotty Pendlebury outstanding in game 300, and here's Jaden Stevenson back after 10 weeks with Daisy Pearce, courtesy of 7.
A lot, I think, because I played every game, so I took it a bit for granted, but it's absolutely amazing, especially with all the great fans here today.
You have missed a bit of footy. Did it take you some time to settle, or can you remember a moment where you felt normal again?
I think I was a little bit scratchy, but just happy to get through and try and play my role for the team, and we've won by 10 points, so I certainly can't complain.
A lot of talk about how you were going to gel with you coming back into the side, Jordan having missed a lot of footy. Did you guys mention that in the build-up to this game? It didn't seem to have much problem.
No, not at all. I think Bucks has built a real selfless team, and Bucks is always harping on about selflessness, so whether it's Billy or Geordie or I, it doesn't really matter. We're all happy to give each other a turn, and if we win, it's all worth it.
You're back into a prelim. Is it more exciting because you know what they mean and know what they feel like, or you're a bit of a veteran now? It's just business as usual.
Certainly not a veteran, but I'm looking forward to it. I'll be watching the next few games closely, so whoever we come up against, I'm sure if we provide the pressure we did tonight, we can hopefully get the win also.
Congratulations, Jaden. Good to see you back.
Thanks, Daisy. Appreciate it.
Over to you, Hayne.
Thanks, Daze. Tony, it's as raw as it gets right now. What are the emotions?
Well, no doubt. bitterly disappointed. But at this time of the year, we're going to get over it pretty quickly. We can't start like we did next week. It's do or die. Disappointing, but we'll get back on the horse.
In terms of a slow start, is there a reason why?
Oh, look, we needed to take our opportunities. Obviously, there was a bit of wind in the first quarter, but we had opportunities to arrest momentum, take shots in front of goal, which we weren't able to do. So we need to get better really quickly.
Good news is, next week it's on again.
Yeah, we've earned the right, we've earned the opportunity, so we'll regroup, we'll reset, and we'll get ready to go again.
Mr. Hamish and Paddy Dangerfield, courtesy of 7. The Geelong players staying on the ground, which I can only imagine is an opportunity for them to, in a really difficult situation, support Scotty Pendlebury in game 300, Das, which is a fantastic effort by the Geelong boys after just losing a final.
It's a classy act, isn't it, in a final to stick out there, and I love it. I think there's great respect in the AFL community, and when you're a champion like Scotty Pendlebury, so the Cats players are lining up. Pretty hard to stand out there, as you said, Howie. That's as disappointing as it gets. Minor premiers, they've been on top of the ladder for almost the entire year, the Cats. You get to this stage and you're the favourites to go through to a prelim final, and you get rolled tonight against an old foe in the Magpies. So, as Paddy Dangerfield said, they've got to get over it pretty quickly. They've got to regroup, and I think all of us think the West Coast Eagles is going to be an almighty challenge. Here's Scotty Pendlebury, cheered off by Chris Mayne, still side bottom. Always good to see, isn't it, Juddy?
It is. It was an awkward setup where Collingwood had balls they were going to give out to the fans on the edge of the ground while the Cats players were waiting to line up. So I'm glad Collingwood players realised what was happening, made the dual line, and a very special moment that for Scotty Pendlebury.
Might have even been Jaden Stevenson that explained to Scotty what was going on.
Was it? Yeah.
We better do this. What are his numbers? Red Z, he was fantastic in game 300, Chewy.
Yeah, 24 disposals, one major, and went at 93% by foot from his 14 kicks.
93% in a qualifying final, Noodles.
Yeah,
good numbers.
Pretty good. And look, I think the score flattered the Cats in the end, a 10-point margin. It felt like a 5 or 6 goal win to the Pies. Full credit to Geelong. They kept coming towards the end of the game, but certainly Collingwood clearly the better side on the night. Geelong set up to save the game, I thought, early in the game. They didn't want to let it get away. I thought they didn't attack the game that they needed to, and they found themselves in a little bit of a hole early, and they couldn't bridge that gap from being 5 goals down very early in the piece because of the way they set up.
Thank you, Nath. Nice to have Dr. Owen White join us in the box to warm up a bit. Hello, Doc.
G'day, Howie.
Wonderful to see you. You look
Festy pop.
fantastic. You've been amazing again tonight. Listen, though, in all seriousness, some serious injury concerns affecting both teams, and they're the relatively big-name players, Doc.
Yeah, we'll start with Collingwood, of course. Jordan De Goey, with what has been announced by the club, he's got a hamstring injury now. The significance of this is that if it's a recurrent hamstring of what he's had, which was a hamstring tendon injury, look, that's the finals campaign over. It would be very, very unlikely to come up with that sort of injury. If it's a little bit of a tweak of another part of the hamstring, there is a chance. So we'll await the scan results.
So say that is the case, Doc. Say he's missed, 40-odd days. He plays a game, gets through half a game tonight. If it's a slight disruption of the hamstring or whatever the medical term would be, what type of position are the doctors and the medical staff in with 22 days, as Stu told us, till the grand final?
Yeah, you're right, Howie. He did it in round 19, that hamstring tendon injury. I've got to say, if it's done that again, he's out, no doubt. If it's hamstring soreness, a very minor strain, there is a chance he could be back in under 3 weeks, a chance. So we've got to wait for the scan results. I say at this point in time, I'm pretty pessimistic, Howie.
Okay. Other injury concerns?
Levi Greenwood, of course, he came off at half-time. He didn't continue with the rest of the game with what the club's announced is a knee issue. Now, we're not sure what that is. He looked lame on the left side as he got out of the dugout in the three-quarter time. So it's on the left side with what is a knee issue. Not sure what that is. So, again, we'll wait for the club to announce the exact diagnosis. And, of course, for Geelong, Mitch Duncan had that medial ligament in the second quarter. It looked to be a mild to moderate medial ligament, which, look, that's usually 3 weeks. So, again, we'll await the scan results, get a more definitive result.
But you wouldn't expect to see Duncan able to get up for a semi-final next Friday
Absolutely
night?
not. It would be grand final at best.
Okay.
And Gary Rowan, halfway through that last quarter, came off with what looked to be a knee or a low hamstring issue. He did not take part in the last 10 or 15 minutes of the game, and at this point in time doesn't look good.
Outstanding, Doc. Well done as always. Wonderful to see you in person. All right, Tommy Brown, I know, nice scene setter. You're a big Pies man, although we don't typically go with that. But what's happening down there, please, Guru?
All the Collingwood officials up the back of the room, including Bucks and his son. When Eddie came on, he said, "Go Maggers!" He was very, very excited as all the Collingwood players come into the rooms now in front of friends and family, basically. There's a real buzz about the room. They know they're in a prelim final. You can feel the energy in the room as the Collingwood boys, all the directors there clapping, but the Collingwood boys are about to sing this song.
Privileged position to be in, Tommy, down there on a night like this.
There certainly is, Howie. They're just about to sing the song. That Geordie to go. They're coming into the huddle.
Well done to the Pies. 9-7-61 to Geelong 7-9-51, a 10-point win, but in all essence, as Nate said, it was more like as you were watching a 5 or 6 goal margin. The Monopoly game at Macca's is back and bigger than ever. Visit maccasplay.com.au for full terms. We'll get to the Pies in a moment. Juddy.
Yes.
They have dominated the home and away season frequently over the last 5 or 6 years, the Cats. Why aren't they able to play of a similar level come finals time as a rule?
Well, I don't know for a fact. I wonder if the shape of their home ground gets them into some maybe bad habits, if you like, with the way they set up. We spoke ad nauseum in the first half, Nate Brown, how they were getting lots of numbers back in their defensive half and trying to counter-attack off that, and it didn't look like an attacking style that was going to win this game of footy, albeit it's one that may work on a skinnier ground, so perhaps that's a reason, Howard. But I don't think they've been playing great footy in the second half of this season. I think the first half they were clearly the best team in the competition. I think they've been doing enough to win in the second half, but probably haven't been as dominant as they were in the first.
All right, Judge, you've got the votes, but stick around because after the break we will go into both rooms. This is your extensive review. Das, we are here for a long time yet to really stretch out what's happening here tonight.
So we should be, Howie.
Absolutely fantastic.
Couldn't be more ready to go. Lots to get through finals time.
I think we might even take callers.
Get them in.
Open line.
Maybe.
Well, I think we've got a few spare mystery packs to give away too. We get a couple of good calls through.
Yes,
How are we going? Bumper stickers?
Yeah, bumper stickers, the jagged gear, a couple of candles and a trip to Sukhavati.
Yes.
And a couple of bongs training up there as well. Fantastic. McDonald, Triple M, Rocks Footy.
It's gone right.